The heart of your teams. The heart of Arizona. Valley Sports Arizona. The heart of the fan.
From Phoenix, it's Arizona Diamondbacks baseball, presented by Gila River Resorts and Casinos. It's a big day for the D-backs today, as Corbin Carroll is about to make his Major League debut on Valley Sports Arizona. Good evening from Chase Field. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve and Bob here with you. Great to be back home. Well, we've been looking forward to this one for a while. Corbin Carroll, not just the Diamondbacks' top prospect, but considered by many to be the #1 prospect in all of Major League Baseball, is in the Diamondbacks starting lineup tonight.
Yeah, we've been waiting for this. I'm sure Corbin's been waiting for this for a long time. This is a legitimate five-tool player, according to scouts that have seen him throughout his minor league career. He can do everything necessary on the field to help your team win games at an elite level.
He is number 7. He is starting in right field tonight for Toy Lovello and batting 8th. And here he is, Corbin Carroll, set to make his Major League debut. SunWest Bank gives us the business of baseball. Diamondbacks first-round pick in the 2019 draft class. Now, he's a prep player behind some of these collegiate players, Bob, but he is right on track with some of the top prospects in the game.
Yeah, we just saw Andrew Vaughn in Chicago, Bryson Stott in the lineup for the Phillies tonight. We saw Bobby Witt Jr. earlier this season. So, yeah, Corbin Carroll joining the crowd in that 2019 draft class.
He's having his coming out party tonight. Here he was earlier today.
It's a cool feeling. You know, this is what I wanted to do, and this is the stage I wanted to do it on. And so to finally be able to say that, it means a lot.
Well, it's great to have him here, certainly. Madison Bumgarner makes the start for the Diamondbacks tonight. Bob, after his turn in the rotation was skipped last week.
Yeah, a lot of hard work with Brent Strom to try to figure something out. Madison Bumgarner's had no issues getting to 2 strikes this year. He just has trouble putting hitters away. A lot of foul balls in those 2-strike counts, a lot of hard contact. So hopefully the adjustments that have been made after skipping that start will show up here tonight against the Phillies.
Yeah, Brent Strom and the analytics team have got together with Mad Bum. They've worked out a few things they think will help tonight. He's up against a good left-hand pitcher in the Phillies, Ranger Suarez.
Ranger Suarez, a ground ball pitcher. He likes that sinker change-up combination down in the zone. You got to make him elevate the ball.
First of 3 against the Phillies, Nissan presents the Brenly Breakdown.
Well, with Corbin Carroll in town, welcome to the show. Don't stop now. This guy has been an elite player at every level he's played at. Don't stop now just because you're in the big leagues.
Oh, you might not blame Corbin Carroll if he was a little starry-eyed tonight. Not only his big league debut, but he's across the field from Bryce Harper, who was back in the lineup after missing a long time for the Phillies. Just came back on Friday. Diamondbacks and Phillies, Corbin Carroll's debut. Much more from Chase Field coming up right after this.
Arizona is brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers in our most exciting lineup ever. Shop NissanUSA.com. By Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Own your moment so you do you. And by Chaz Roberts Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Choose Chaz.
Oh, our exclusive coverage of D-backs baseball continues on this Monday night. First pitch, Phillies and Diamondbacks right around the corner. From field level out to our pre- and post-game set, we bring you hi again, everyone. I'm Todd Walsh. As I like to say from time to time, this is the place to be in the Valley tonight, what with the highly anticipated debut at the Major League level for Corbin Carroll. We just heard from him moments ago. Let's check in now with the man who drafted him, General Manager Mike Hazen, who told us earlier today about what he has witnessed as Carroll has made his way up the ranks from AA to AAA here to the majors. We heard from him earlier today.
He's just very driven, motivated. The process that he undertakes for himself. You guys saw him last year, scouting games when he was hurt. You know, he was here every day. That speaks to, I think, how he thinks about the game. And now we get to go watch him play. He's an exciting player, so he brings a lot to the table, and fits right in with the group that we have here right now.
Love what manager Torey Lovullo said about this whole story earlier today. He said it's a story of development from those who scouted him, those who drafted him, and of course those who signed him. The rest of the story is up to that guy right there, Corbin Carroll. First pitch in moments. D-backs baseball on Bally Sports Arizona is brought to you by Corona Extra, La Vida Más Fina, by Jack in the Box. When the D-backs hit big, you win big. Get a free Jumbo Jack with a large drink purchase the day after the D-backs hit a home run. And by Peoria Subaru. We care. We promise.
City in Chicago, returning to Chase Field now after the South Side sweep over the weekend, and we are set for the highly anticipated Major League debut of top prospect Corbin Carroll, who's out there in right field. On the mound, it's left-hander Madison Bumgarner. His turn in the rotation skipped last week as they try to get him pointed back in the right direction. Bob, tonight his first start in 9 days.
Yeah, hopefully the rest will do him good. Coming off a beating at the hands of the St. Louis Cardinals. Went 5 1/3 in that game. Gave up 5 runs on 7 hits, including a couple of homers. He walked 2 batters in that game and had problems with the pitch count, as we mentioned. A lot of foul balls.
Here's the Phillies lineup presented by your Valley Chevy dealers. Kyle Schwarber sent to lead it off. Phillies arrive here third in the National League East, trailing both the Mets and the Braves, but they are 16 over 500. 9.5 games behind the Mets National League East division lead. They currently do hold a wild card spot. And there is Schwarber in the leadoff spot. 211 on the year, not much for a leadoff hitter, but he leads the National League with those 35 home runs. Hitting for another one right here. Sends Corbin Carroll back to the wall. And he's got just enough room. Welcome to the big leagues, young man. Let's get a look around the diamond now at the D-back defense. Brought to us by E.D. Marshall Jewelry.
Stone Garrett in left field this evening. Jake McCarthy slides over to center. Some guy named Corbin Carroll in right field. Don't know anything about him. Manuel Rivera at third base. Geraldo Perdomo and Ketel Marte back in the lineup defensively tonight. They'll make up the double play combo with Christian Walker at first. Carson Kelly doing the catching for lefty Madison Bumgarner.
Ketel Marte back out there defensively. That's good to see after he had the day off yesterday in Chicago. Here's Rhys Hoskins, the first baseman. Curveball is low, 1-0. Hoskins tops on the Phillies at OPS. Always a very patient hitter, takes his walks. He is 4th in the National League in pitches seen per plate appearance. You got to throw him strikes, and it's 2-0.
Yeah, this Phillies lineup, they make you run the gauntlet right out of the chute. The first 5 hitters in the lineup have combined for 100 home runs this year.
And the long ball, especially early in games, has been an issue for Madison Bumgarner this year. There's a cutter at the belt for a strike. Ramon DeJesus, our plate umpire tonight, calling balls and strikes, and it's 2-1 on Rhys Hoskins. Mad Bum once again on the far third base side of the rubber. That's where we've seen him his last several starts. And Hoskins sends one into center. It's a 1-out single. Well, you've seen the numbers. Madison Bumgarner, last 5 starts, roughly 29 innings, 24 earned runs allowed. Opponents over that stretch have a collective .339 batting average against him, and he's trying to get right. And this is a tough lineup against which to do that. Here is Alec Bohm, who's really turned his season and perhaps career around, and is now suddenly the Phillies' leading hitter at .291. Those 10 homers already a new career high. There was a time where they thought Alec Bohm might not make it. Struggling mightily defensively, couldn't hit, struggled badly, but he has really picked up the pace.
Got in a little war with Philly fans, which is never a good thing to do early in your career, but he made amends and has continued to play better as the season has progressed.
Skipper Rob Thompson, the interim skipper after Joe Girardi was let go earlier this year, seems to have settled things down a bit. Yeah, Alec Bohm in 20 games in July, all starts, hit .434 for the month. Ooh. That's the best calendar month by any Philly since Pat Burrell in July of 2007.
Pat the bat.
Right. There's a cutter carved foul, and it's 1-2 on Alec Bohm. Well, he's always had high expectations, Alec Bohm. First round pick out of Wichita State by Philadelphia. Just 4 years ago, he was the number 3 overall pick in that draft. Big, tall guy at 6'5". Hoskins does not run.
He's one of the few Phillies that doesn't.
There's another base hit for Bohm. A curveball knocked into left field. And there are 2 on and 1 out for Bryce Harper. Here comes Bryce, the DH.
Boy, had to really go down and dig that one out well below the bottom of the strike zone, but finds that hole in the left side of the infield to keep the inning moving for the Phillies.
Bryce Harper just returned to their lineup Friday and singled in each of their first 3 games over the Pirates this weekend. They took 2 of 3. Harper missed 52 games after he suffered a broken left thumb on June 25th. So this is only his 4th game back from the injured list. 1 out, Hoskins at second and Bohm at first. Slammed into right. Corbin Carroll can't make the play. It gets behind him and rolls to the wall. Hoskins will score. They'll stop Bohm at third, and Harper's at second. The Phillies have the early lead. A line drive running away from Corbin Carroll deep in right field.
A lot of loud contact early for the Phillies. Yeah, just a center of the plate 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Bryce Harper's been swinging at about half the first pitches he sees this year. Corbin Carroll goes down to his knees out there trying to make the backhanded catch. Just nipped off the webbing of the glove. Couldn't quite get to the spot.
113 miles an hour off the bat of Bryce Harper. Guess the thumb is okay. And here is another red hot Phillies hitter, the catcher JT Realmuto, who has got 14 homers and a .273 batting average. A run is in, second and third, 1 out. And Mad Bum is in the deep end of the pool right away here.
Yeah, he's faced 4 batters. All 4 put the ball in play over 100 miles an hour, including that drive to right field by Bryce Harper. As you mentioned, 113 off the bat.
And that has been the issue with Madison. A lot of loud contact. Changeup floated up there and a swing and miss by Realmuto, who has been piling up the hits lately for Philadelphia. In fact, he's collected 17 hits in his last 11 games and 9 RBIs to go with them. And a big RBI spot right here. On the ground to shortstop. Backhanded by Perdomo. He dropped the ball. Bohm has come across, and the Phillies get 2 in the first. That's an error on the shortstop.
That's the first error in 7 games for the Diamondbacks defensively. They have been airtight recently, but that time it looked like Perdomo just got a little ahead of himself. Didn't get the glove all the way down to the ground. You could see him peeking up at third base to see whether he had a play there. That's not good.
He has been so smooth defensively as of late, Geraldo Perdomo. Here's the former Diamondback Gene Segura, another Philly who's recently returned from a long extended injury absence. Well, these guys are up there hacking right away.
They really are. And you got to keep an eye on JT Realmuto over there first base. He's a perfect 16 for 16. And oh yeah, by the way, he's a catcher.
Well, they're all great athletes. Phillies were without Gene Segura for all of June and July. Had a broken index finger on his right hand. Missed 54 games. Was not back in their lineup until August 4th. And sure enough, there goes Realmuto on the move. Yes, he went, says Dan Merzel, the first base umpire. And Realmuto is in at second. Well, the Phillies have really hung in, considering that you're talking about 2+ months without guys like Segura and Harper and some others. 1-1. Segura got injured May 31st. He broke that right index finger getting hit by a pitch trying to bunt and had to have surgery. Now 32 years old. His 11th season in the major leagues. Two runs in, second and third, one out. And a 2-1 count on Gene Segura. Carson Kelly going through all the pitch count buttons. Madison said this weekend that what he sees as being the biggest problem lately is that he's had not a whole lot of trouble getting to 2 strikes, but that's where he gets the foul balls. He gets to the 2-strike count, but once he gets there, there's a lot harder contact that he wants to see, and he's having trouble finding ways to put guys away. Bryson Stott, the rookie shortstop, on deck. Behind in the count here, 3-1.
Yeah, Phillies have been a very streaky team this season. You look back to the early part of June, they won 15 out of 17 games. And later in the end of July, the beginning of August, they won 12 out of 13. And before the loss yesterday, they had won 6 in a row.
This is chopped foul ground, right side and out of play.
When they get it rolling, they get it rolling.
The Phillies since June 1st are 51-27. Only the Dodgers and the Braves have a better win percentage over that same span. They are back on the road following an 11-game homestand during which they went 7-4, so they're looking to create some momentum here. 3-2. Walker coming home, and they get the tag on Harper, so they're able to cut down 1 run. That's the second out. Real Muto is into third, and Segura's at first for Bryson Stott.
Shortstop, number 5, Bryson Stott.
Showed you Bryson Stott at the top of our show, like Corbin Carroll, a member of that 2019 draft class. He was picked just 2 spots ahead of Corbin, 14th overall, but Stott was a college player, having been a very well-regarded shortstop at UNLV. Corbin Carroll was a prep player. Big difference. Throw into second, and they got him. Segura caught stealing by Carson Kelly. That stops the bleeding. The Phillies strike first. Diamondbacks coming up against Ranger Suarez. Open up a 7-game homestand. We'll play 3 here against the Phillies, and then the Milwaukee Brewers come to town for 4 starting on Thursday. The opener tonight. Valley Chevy Dealers has the Diamondbacks batting order.
Against the left-handed starter once again, Carson Kelly, the catcher, will lead it off, followed by Josh Rojas, who is the designated hitter this evening. Ketel Marte, as we mentioned, back in the lineup at second base. Christian Walker at first. Emmanuel Rivera over at third base. Stone Garrett will be the left fielder. Jake McCarthy in center. Corbin Carroll over in right with Geraldo Perdomo at short, all behind Madison Bumgarner.
That's Ranger Suarez, 27-year-old left-hander out there for the Phillies. He pitched both in the rotation and the bullpen for Philadelphia last year, including some work as their closer. But this year he's settled into a starting spot and has pitched very well.
He's been really good on the road this year as well. His last 4 road starts, he's posted a 0.36 earned run average, giving up 1 run in 25 innings.
Carson Kelly, as he often does, in the leadoff spot against the left-hander, and Carson gets it started. Home half of the first inning.
Phillies have won 6 of Suarez's 7 starts since the All-Star break.
Yeah, Rob Thompson, their skipper, says when Ranger Suarez is going good, he gets a lot of soft contact. There's the skipper. He has really sort of calmed the waters after Joe Girardi was let go earlier this year. Calm water is always a good thing in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Maybe not frequent, but good. Yeah, Suarez, 2 main pitches, sinker, changeup, which is why he's that soft contact type of guy. He also fields his position extremely well. He's a very good defender out there.
Yeah, talking about that soft contact, he's given up the second fewest hard hit balls among any pitcher in baseball. Only Julio Urias has given up fewer.
All right, quit showing off. Just so jealous. Literally, see, it doesn't work. That's out of play, and it's 2-2.
You got to kind of let your tongue bubble against the roof of your mouth. Urias.
¿Quién es más macho? Lloyd Bridges or Ricardo Montalban? Josh Rojas, the DH tonight. Waiting on deck. Then it's Ketel Marte, who's back at second base. 2-2 on Carson Kelly. Suarez goes to the curveball. Real Muto. Whoa. Leans it up, and Hoskins just does keep his foot on the bag down there. And there's out number 1 as we get a look around the diamond at the Philadelphia defense, brought to us by E.D. Marshall Jewelers.
Kyle Schwarber in left. Brandon Marsh out in center field. Matt Vierling will be the right fielder. Alec Boehm at third base. Bryson Stott at short. Gene the hitting machine Segura at second base. Reese Hoskins over at first. JT Real Muto, one of the best in the game behind the plate, and he'll be receiving pitches from lefty Ranger Suarez.
Josh Rojas, 287 homers. A rare day at designated hitter for him. If you get Ketel Marte back at second base defensively, that kind of creates a crowded mix around the infield. Where the Vela will be moving some chess pieces around the board. Josh walked in the 9th inning against the White Sox yesterday, and that extended his streak of reaching base in consecutive games to 24. So that streak still active as we start this homestand. That is the longest streak by a Diamondback since Paul Goldschmidt reached in 27 straight 4 years ago. Suarez will watch that go foul, and it's 2-2 on Josh Rojas.
Yeah, for me, one thing to watch with the Diamondbacks hitters tonight is, do they lay off that sinker changeup down? If you swing at that pitch, you're going to hit ground balls to the infield all night long. Hopefully he'll get some pitches up around the belt, or maybe even a little higher, and when he does, you have to be ready to do some damage.
I think that's really, Bob, been one of the strengths of the Diamondback, as well as they played lately. The whole Diamondback offense has been the patience up there.
Yeah.
We'll see if he can kick in again tonight. Marte waiting on deck. 2-2 on Rojas. Phillies have 3 defenders on the first base side of the infield. And Josh got a fastball out there, had to swing, and Suarez got a couple of strikeouts to start it off.
Well located. You see Real Muto moves out there on the outside corner, and that's right where Suarez puts that pitch. Josh a little late choosing to pull the trigger that time.
Ketel Marte on the field at second base. His first start defensively since August 13th at Colorado, which is where he tweaked that hamstring. Jumps on the first pitch, a cut fastball, pops it up first base side. Segura calls off Hoskins. And Suarez puts up a 0 and a shutdown 1-2-3 first. After 1, D-backs trail at 2-0. Early 2-0 lead on Madison Bumgarner of the Diamondbacks. Don't forget, you can participate in our D-backs Give Back 50-50 charity raffle, supported by Bally Sports Arizona, while you watch the game right there from home. Fans anywhere in Arizona can get their tickets online. dbacks.com/50-50. Jackpot already over $4,000. You have until the end of the 7th inning to get your tickets, and half the money goes to help fund youth sports programs across our state. Here's Bryson Stott, the shortstop, who leads off the second. He homered off of Madison Bumgarner in his first at bat against Mad Bum back on June 11th when we were at Citizens Bank Park. Rough first for Mad Bum. 3 hard hit balls, 2 Phillies runs. Philadelphia hitters very aggressive early in counts against Mad Bum. And that's the way Stott has gone here.
Goes without saying Mad Bum could use a real quick inning right here after throwing 21 pitches in the first inning. Try to get that pitch count back under control. Hopefully pitch deeper in the ball game. Carson wants this one out in front of the plate, bouncing.
And Stott just punched it the other way into left field. That's the 4th Phillies hit in the first 7 batters.
Right fielder.
Brings up Matt Vierling. Vierling is in right field for the Phillies tonight. Nick Castellanos, their regular guy out there, has a bout of turf toe. He has not been placed on the injured list, but there's a chance, we're told, we might not see Nick Castellanos much, if at all, in this series. And so Vierling, who's a good athlete, is out there in right field tonight. He's a guy that plays anywhere and everywhere for the Phillies. Mostly in the outfield. He's seen time out there in all 3 spots. He's played some third base, second base as well. 5th round pick out of Notre Dame 4 years ago.
Well, keep an eye on Bryson Stott over there. I mentioned these guys, just about all of them run the bases extremely well, with the exception of Rhys Hoskins. The Phillies are 2nd in the National League in stolen bases this year with 85 as a team, make it 86 after the Real Muto stolen base in the first.
Stott 8 for 11 in his stolen base attempts. And Mad Bum behind on the number 8 hitter, 2-0. Diamondbacks had a pair of scheduled off days last week, and so they made the decision to skip Madison Bumgarner's turn in the rotation, so we could get some work in on the side, look for some solutions with Brent Strom and some of the other pitching support staff.
I don't notice any obvious mechanical changes in his delivery, either out of the windup or the stretch. There may be something very small there that isn't readily obvious. Could be just more of a mental adjustment. What pitches are you throwing in which counts? The grip on the ball could be something that isn't noticeable.
Well, he's remained on that far third base side of the rubber. That's the first thing you see. And there's another base hit for the Phillies as Vierling knocks it into left. 5 hits by the first 8 Philadelphia batters.
Center field, number 16, Brandon Marsh.
There's one of the newest Phillies, Brandon Marsh, who is in center field tonight. A rookie with the Angels last season, acquired by Philadelphia at the trade deadline this year for a minor leaguer. Former 2nd rounder by the Angels out of high school in Buford, Georgia. Stott the runner at second base and Vierling's at first. Nobody out. Talking with Brent Strom over the weekend in Chicago, he told us that while they took Madison out of the rotation for 1 turn, they worked with him, and basically they settled on trying to just get a little more tempo. And it was about rhythm and timing. This will back up Stone Garrett near the warning track in left. And everybody will have to hold. Vierling aggressively trying to go first to second, has to put the brakes on. So as you mentioned, Bob, there's not a lot that you notice in terms of mechanics with Mad Bum. Nothing drastic out there. And Stromy was saying it's about rhythm and timing with the lower half and the upper half of the body, kind of trying to coordinate all that. And that really was the extent of the focus. And that's where they ended up.
Well, we know from watching him throughout his career, Mad Bum has been a guy that has a lot of movement in his delivery. That torque of the upper body almost shows the hitter his name on the back of the jersey before delivering the ball. And occasionally things can get out of whack timing wise.
Schwarber, who almost hit one out of here his first time up. He leads the league with 35 home runs. Yeah, you said the movement. That's what Brent Strom kept telling us, was it some of the ingrained movement that Madison has, they tried to tweak a little bit, and they had some success. But you know, Strami said it's like trying to walk differently suddenly.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where Madison is at right now. If someone said to you, "Hey, walk differently," you'd have a hard time right away, and that's kind of where Madison is. So they tried to tweak it a little bit. They had some success, but it's mostly about tempo and rhythm out there right now, as opposed to where you are in space. And Mad Bum seemed to be good with that. That one will bounce through and into right field. They're going to wave start around third. The throw from Corbin Carroll to the plate is not in time, and it's 3-0 Phillies. RBI for Schwarber.
Not much of a hole on that right side, but Schwarber finds it with that top spin hopper that sneaks through the right side. Corbin Carroll's throw to the plate not nearly in time. Stott got a great jump out there at second base. Good read on that ground ball.
Dusty Wathan waving him home all the way. 3-0 Philadelphia. And here comes the sharp end of the stick. Number 2 hitter Rhys Hoskins, who singled and scored an inning ago. Phillies already 3 runs on 6 hits. Madison has only recorded 4 outs. Starts him off with a curveball, first strike. Here's a chance for Lisa Cross. Cross up.
Oh, took a bad bounce.
He's going to get some assistance from Alfonso Marquez. Lisa Cross, our Golden Glover in left field tonight. There's Jump Street. Karen Jenkins working right field. Cannot make a location mistake with Rhys Hoskins, already his 4th career season of at least 25 home runs. Tap back to the mound. Mad Bum goes to second. Marte for 1. Nice footwork down there, and they roll the double play. Ketel Marte, a pretty play at second base. Phillies pick up 1 more though, and they lead it 3-0. Made it 3-0 Philadelphia. Coming up on Wednesday, our annual D-backs and Bally Sports Arizona broadcast fundraiser, which has raised nearly $3 million over the years. And it's your chance to purchase a bat signed by one of the Diamondbacks' bright young stars. All the money raised helps the Arizona Diamondbacks Foundation fight childhood cancer. It all starts when the Diamondbacks host these Phillies at 6 o'clock coming up Wednesday on Bally Sports Arizona and streaming on the Bally Sports app. Christian Walker leads off the 2nd inning against left-hander Ranger Suarez, who is coming off a 1-2-3-11 pitch first. Christian has already established a new career high with those 30 home runs. His next run batted in will match his career best RBI total set 3 years ago. Walker staying patient. You said they needed to lay off the low stuff. You're going to see a lot of it tonight.
I mean, for me, he's got to prove he can throw strikes down there at the bottom of the zone. Most of the pitches that he starts in the bottom of the strike zone end up below the zone because of the sink on the sinker, and the changeup has some downward movement. We've seen a couple of curveballs that have a lot of downward movement. Make sure you see it up.
Emmanuel Rivera on deck. He's at third base tonight. 3-1 on Christian Walker. Walker punches that one foul. Phillies are without their ace Zach Wheeler right now. We went on the injured list last week. Right forearm tendonitis, and they think Wheeler will be able to return when he's set to come off the injured list September 6th. They are also missing right-hander Zach Eflin. He's been out for a while now with a right knee problem. So Suarez has been one of the guys that's held things together out there.
And it's a leadoff walk for Walker. Emmanuel Rivera coming off a very good road trip for the Diamondbacks. 244, 11 home runs now, back in the lineup after an off day yesterday in Chicago. And what a trip he had visiting his former haunt in Kansas City and then the South Side over the weekend. 3 hits, 4 RBIs, 4 runs scored on the road trip. He doubled and homered.
A couple of familiar ballparks for him.
Yeah, I'm sure that always helps. Also, Rivera played extremely well defensively at third base, especially that White Sox series. Homered in Chicago Friday night, then Saturday walked, scored a run, knocked in a run. He's been a terrific addition. Gobbled up at third by Bohm. And Rivera able to avoid the double play. Boy, Alec Bohm was a defensive disaster not too long ago at third base. He has really come a long way. Rob Thompson wants to have a look.
That ball was hit so hard it might have caught him. Just had his glove in the right spot. Took a while to find the handle right there. He uses a very big glove down there at third base and couldn't quite find the handle. And it looks like Phillies are going to pass on their challenge.
And here comes Stone Garrett, who came up in the second inning in Chicago yesterday and did this against Dylan Cease.
Now, there wasn't much going on against Dylan Cease until that drive to left center field off the bat of Stone Garrett.
First career home run for Stone, who is the left fielder against the left-hand pitcher tonight. And what a start it's been for this young man who waited a long time to get here. 5 games in already with 7 hits, 3 doubles and a home run. Stone had gone a full week without a live at bat before he clobbered that hanging breaking ball from Dylan Cease yesterday. So he needs to see a lot of lefties to get consistent at bats. And now the equation for Torey Lovullo really gets complicated with the addition of Corbin Carroll. Like, where do you play all these guys? They're all outfielders. And Garrett is the one right-hand batter in that mix. Jordan Luplow went to Reno with the addition of Corbin Carroll. Segura at second, spins and throws for 1, and he cannot turn 2. If you're on social media, check out our Valley Sports Arizona Twitter question today. Corbin Carroll is here for his big league debut. In fact, he's coming up 2 batters from now. Who's your favorite prospect in Diamondback history? The hottest property. And of course, a lot of people talked about Justin Upton, you know, of whom big things were expected when he came up. So let us know. We'll have some answers coming up later.
I'd say the latest one.
Right. It's always the best one.
You think about it, it's almost like when the Olympic torch crossed the United States and you pass the torch to the next guy. You know, I guess you'd start possibly with Josh Rojas and Dalton Varsho, then Alec Thomas and Jake McCarthy, and now on to Corbin Carroll.
And there's a whole lot more torch bearers coming up behind.
Yeah.
It's starting to get excited around here. McCarthy snagged at first by Hoskins. And Suarez is out of the second, holding a 3-0 lead. They lead the Diamondbacks 3-0 early. Extra effort is presented by Corona Extra. Mention how interim skipper Rob Thompson's kind of calmed things down in Philadelphia. Well, since he was named the interim manager June the 3rd, they are 50-27. Only the Dodgers and the Braves have been better in the majors over that same span. Alec Bohm leads off the 3rd against Madison Bumgarner.
We've seen Madison Bumgarner at times this year struggle early in the ball game, first inning, second inning, sometimes even into the 3rd inning before settling in and starting to mow down the opposition. Hopefully it'll happen quickly here today.
Walker will give this a try. Long run for Corbin Carroll, but that lands in foul ground. Well, Brent Strom was telling us, and very much to Madison's credit, that
he tried a lot of different things looking for that perfect fix. There's Strami right now with bench coach Jeff Bannister. And, you know, it's kind of a reminder, as Brent said, that sometimes movement patterns are very difficult to elicit, especially during a competitive baseball season. They've kind of tried to simplify things without trying to make a major overhaul. And Madison seemed to be happy with where they landed. But you can't just take all the pieces apart and try to put it back together again here at the end of August.
Yeah, you better label them as you take them apart.
Right.
I've learned that from putting furniture together.
IKEA. 1-2. But Madison has not shied away. He's been, you know, happy to answer questions about the difficulties he's gone through this year. That's not easy to do, especially for a guy that has accomplished so much in this game. But he's been frustrated when the bad starts start to pile up on top of each other. They just seem to keep on coming. That cutter didn't quite get back there for Ramon DeJesus, and now it's full 3-2.
Yeah, you can see from his reaction, you know, Mad Bum wanted that one. That's one of those pitches I talk about all the time. It's right probably where he wanted to throw that ball, but it was just off the outside corner.
Bohm hits it hard to center. More loud contact. McCarthy will have to play it off the wall. It's below the yellow line, and a double for Bohm, who continues his hot summer of hitting. He's 2 for 2. Well, this guy is a completely different player the last few months.
And breaking ball that ends up right in the middle of the plate. Just below that yellow line out there in center field. Bounces back on the field of play where Jake McCarthy's right there to play the carom.
Now here comes Bryce Harper, who smashed an RBI double into right field his first time. Harper is the DH. Only his 4th game back after missing 52 games with a broken left thumb. That was suffered back June 25th. Phillies, by the way, went 32-20. Well, Harper was out of the lineup. I think they probably would have signed up for that at the time.
Oh, yeah, they would have.
So that was pretty much job well done. Harper showing bunt. A little frustrated with himself right there. Now remember, he's been limited to DH duty even prior to that left thumb injury. He'd already been playing with a torn UCL in his right elbow. That's his throwing elbow, so he's not played a game in the field since the middle of April. And it's not expected that he'll be back in the outfield at all for the rest of this year. So he is strictly these days a DH. Good pitch right there. A fastball for a strike, and it's 0-2. Bryce Harper now in his age 29 season already, his 11th season in the major leagues, and his 4th with the Phillies. Laid off that cutter.
Harper going into that 2-strike approach, keeps that right foot, his front foot on the ground, just kind of rocks his weight back on the backside and then back to the front foot again. No stride whatsoever. He really covers that batter's box.
He is a max effort swinger down there, Bryce Harper.
Yep.
Big physical guy, 6'3", 210, tremendous strength.
I can still remember his major league debut at Dodger Stadium playing for the Nationals. He was the left fielder in that ball game.
Remember, he kept crashing into outfield walls and injuring himself, and they told him, hey, you got to quit doing that. That was back with Washington. Last season with the Phillies, he won his 2nd National League MVP award, Bryce Harper. On the ground for Marte, hustles over there. Bohm gets into 3rd, and that's the first out in the 3rd. Now it's time for Coors Light, beating the pressure. As JT Realmuto steps up there, you talked about catcher stealing bases. How about a perfect 17 for 17? Going back to Red Doohan back in 1908.
Watch out, Red, coming to get you.
He was a big fantasy league choice that year. That's not true.
I mean, this guy, you can make an argument for some other catchers in the major leagues, but he, for me, is probably the best combination of everything. He can throw runners out. He's thrown out about 40% this year from behind the plate. He can steal bases, as he's proven. He can hit for power. He can hit for average. Takes charge of that pitching staff. I don't know what else you can ask from a catcher.
There's tremendous what they call pop times.
Yeah.
1.8 something, I think.
Had the fastest recorded 1.73 from his glove to the middle infielder's glove.
Curveball there from Madison. Now, he has hit the ball hard ever since the beginning of this summer. A big jump in his exit velocities, JT Realmuto. Alec Boehm at third, 1 out. Diamondbacks already down 3-0. This is lifted out to left center. Stone Garrett has got it. Gets it back in. Here comes Boehm just ahead of the throw, and it's 4-zip Phillies.
Second baseman, Gene.
Well, Madison Bumgarner is 50 pitches in. He's thrown 2 2/3, given up 4 runs on 7 hits. And the batter will be Gene Segura. "50 pitches, 35 for strikes." Gene Segura, a Diamondback for 1 year back in 2016 when he led the league in hits.
He was fun to watch that summer. It seemed like he got 2 knocks almost every night.
He was their most consistent player that season from game 1 to game 162. I don't think you can really argue about that. He hit .319, had 41 doubles, 20 homers, stole 33 bases, all still career highs for him. But it was after that season that he was sent to Seattle in a trade that brought the Diamondbacks Ketel Marte. (2-1). Mad Bum going to that curveball a little more often tonight than we've seen lately. Certainly a lot more early in a start. That's another thing they've worked on. They turned the analytics team loose on him and didn't change anything too dramatically. They looked at different options with him in terms of where to utilize his stuff best. There's Stone Garrett in left field. Phillies have scored in each of the first 3 innings. They lead at 4-0. But he's set to make his major league debut, his first big league at bat. He arrived earlier today. It's our Nationwide Vision Center eye on the game. Corbin Carroll, Diamondbacks first round pick in the 2019 draft, a prep player out of Lakeside School in Seattle. And here he is walking into a big league clubhouse and meeting his new teammates. Got to be a big day for him.
He spent so much time at the ballpark when he was injured. He knew his way around anyway. Sometimes your first day in the big leagues, you don't even know where the clubhouse is.
Just turned 22 years old last week. Regarded by several publications, including ESPN and The Athletic, as the #1 prospect in all of Major League Baseball. Tremendous speed, power, a makeup, and a baseball IQ that everyone has been raving about. And now here he is for the first time in a batter's box in a Major League game. He's got friends and family here. And he will face the left-hander for the Phillies, Ranger Suarez. His numbers in the minors this year. Torey Lovullo said today that Corbin Carroll got into the Diamondback system and was connecting dots at a different pace than everybody else.
That's a good way to put it.
I thought so.
It's out of a little bit of a closed stance. He has a little toe tap mechanism that he does for timing in that left-handed batter's box, and then eventually the right foot ends up closer to home plate than the back foot.
There's that sinker from Suarez, and it's 1-2. Mike Hazen, D-backs GM, said Corbin Carroll is going to play, and we're not going to call him up here to sit. 1-2 from Ranger Suarez. Here's that speed. Segura's going to have to hustle, and they just do get him at first.
I can feel the D-backs home run coming tonight. When the D-backs hit big, you win big. Get a free Jumbo Jack with a large drink purchase the day after the D-backs hit a home run.
There's another 22-year-old. Geraldo Perdomo, the shortstop, at 190 and 4 homers. Perdomo walked twice Friday in the opener in Chicago. And then in that win on Saturday, singled twice, drove in 3 runs. Diamondbacks still looking for their first hit against Suarez. They trail it 4-0. Ranger Suarez missed the first few weeks of July, lower back trouble. Since he returned from the injured list in the middle of last month, he's been outstanding, unbeaten in 7 starts. Phillies in those 7 starts have gone 6-1. Perdomo punches that one to Segura. A little juggle there, but he's got it for the second out. And here comes Carson Kelly. Carson struck out to lead it off in the leadoff spot against the left-hander tonight.
And at first at bat, didn't look like Carson was picking the ball up well out of Suarez's hand at all. He chased a couple bad pitches down out of the zone. Second time around, let's see what happens.
Right at the knees with that sinker. That's what he does. They say he is a guy who lives on the ground because of that sinker. He's going to come right after you with that pitch. He's up there looking for quick, easy outs, Ranger Suarez. And for the most part, he's been getting them so far. 34 pitches, 22 strikes.
Yeah, first time through the D-backs order, 9 batters. Nobody got the ball out of the infield yet against Suarez.
Diamondbacks have seen Ranger Suarez before, including earlier this year, June 12th in Philadelphia. And they had a good day that day. They got 4 hits, 4 walks against him, and 4 1/3. That was a 13-1 Diamondback win at Citizens Bank Park. Behind on Carson, 3-1. Josh Rojas would be next. Well, he just lives down there, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. I mean, for him, the top of the strike zone is the middle of the thighs.
Right.
That's about as high as he wants to go.
Carson caught looking at another sinker. 3 strikeouts for Suarez, who has a 4-0 lead. D-backs 2023 regular season schedule is now available at dbacks.com, and you can become a D-backs Advantage member and get access to the best seats for next season, along with exclusive benefits and experiences. You can choose from a weekend, a series, a half or a full season plan. Check it out, dbacks.com/advantage. Of course, the Diamondbacks will play every team in the majors with the revamped schedule next year, so you get to see some different players and teams coming into the ballpark. Shortstop Bryson Stott leads off the fourth against Madison Bumgarner, who has given up 4 runs on 7 hits.
We've got to put the lid on this Phillies offense right now. You can't let them get any farther ahead.
Not the way Suarez is pitching, for
nope.
sure.
Right out there again, this time up. Just off the plate.
Bryson Stott hit a home run against Madison Bumgarner in June at Philadelphia. Just a few weeks ago, the Phillies declared Stott to be their everyday shortstop, so it's his job that's out of play. They decided to let go Didi Gregorius, the former Diamondback, got released earlier this month. So Stott had been seeing a lot of playing time at second base in June and July, but now he's back where he belongs at shortstop, and it's his job. There's Rob Thompson, the skipper. They had to make a couple of moves like that, the Phillies. Gregorius was let go. Odubel Herrera as well. Phillies had to eat about $5 million left on Didi's deal, just to give Stott the opportunity to play shortstop every day. Rob Thompson was saying those moves to let the veterans go and play some of the promising youngsters who are producing should tell everybody the Phillies are in this thing for real. And they're serious about this. It's about production. You have to produce. Phillies right now 9.5 back in the National League East, but they do hold a wild card spot. Stott is fouling off a whole lot of these pitches, and this is exactly what Madison Bumgarner was talking about when he was asked the other day about, what do you see the problem to be really? And he said he's not had a lot of trouble getting to 2 strikes, but there's been a lot of foul balls once he gets there, and that's what's happening right now. There's another one.
Yeah, I mean, he's had 6 0-2 counts in the game already, but yet has not recorded a strikeout.
That's remarkable.
Yeah, you mentioned Didi Gregorius. Every time I hear that name, I look at Geraldo Perdomo, and physically I see the same guy. They're very similar physically. Long legs, rangy guys out there at shortstop.
Very athletic,
yeah.
Lean, tall. Didi was just a baby when he was here. And we thought, boy, he's just never going to hit. And then he went to Yankee Stadium and had a whole bunch of 20-homer seasons.
There you go.
Carson hangs on to the foul tip on the cutter, and Madison gets his first strikeout.
And even that was a foul tip right into Carson Kelly's mitt that time.
Right fielder, Matt Vierling.
Fortunately able to hang on that time. You see that cut fastball working its way away from a left-handed hitter.
Well, Mad Bum is now retired 4 straight. Here's Matt Vierling, the right fielder. Vierling singled his first time up. He's hit safely now in 6 of 7. No Nick Castellanos in their starting lineup tonight. He's out with a bout of turf toe.
You mentioned Mad Bum, kind of tweaking some of his off-speed stuff. Coming into this game, they hadn't really hit his off-speed pitches very much. His curveball and changeup had combined for a 185 average. But tonight, he's given up 4 of his 7 hits off of his curveball. So either he's making some location mistakes with it, or just not getting the kind of movement on that pitch that he's hoping for.
Well, Brent Strom talked about that, how difficult it can be in the middle of a season to change movement patterns that are really well ingrained for a long time. And Vierling takes a fastball. So they have looked at different options in terms of where best to utilize each pitch, and that might be part of what's going on here. Fleshy part of the thigh.
Yeah, it's a good place for a four-seamer. Won't get hit hard.
Brandon Marsh. I tell you, if Philly fans were missing Jason Worth, they've got a new one in Brandon Marsh.
You got that right.
Just beyond the reach of Perdomo. Now 7 different Phillies have base hits against Madison Bumgarner.
Just a little soft serve line drive, barely over the head of Perdomo into shallow left center field. Just a swing designed to make contact, put the ball in play somewhere.
The Phillies have run through a whole bunch of different center fielders. They had to go and acquire Marsh from the Angels, but he seems to have been a pretty good fit. Here's Schwarber, who had an RBI single his last time up, leading the National League with those 35 home runs. "70 pitches for Madison, 47 strikes. Schwarber blasts one to the moon. Gone. Last Phillies hitter with at least 35 homers before the end of August was Ryan Howard back in '09. That's 36 for Schwarber, and it's 7-0.
Boy, what a year he's having. That's his 9th home run against a left-handed pitcher this year, a career high for him. Oh my. Yeah, that one had instructions on it. Keep your shoulder in, watch the ball, don't overswing.
The Phillies have scored in each of the first 4 innings and now have a 7-0 lead. 4 runs batted in tonight for Schwarber. And the batter is Rhys Hoskins. This one will drop into left center. Hoskins 2 for 3. Sanderson Ford bullpen. Luis Frias, the right-hander. We saw him over the weekend in Chicago. Here is Alec Boehm, who has singled, doubled, and scored twice. Phillies now 7 runs on 10 hits. Boehm is a tough out for any left-hand pitcher. He's batting over .350 versus lefties this year. Sixth of the year for Kyle Schwarber. He's knocked in 4 runs tonight. 0-1 to Boehm.
You may have noticed there, Matt Bum took a quick peek at the radar gun out on the scoreboard in center field after that last pitch. It looked like he tried to put a little extra on that fastball, and Boehm was tardy and fouled it off to the right side, and Mad Bum immediately whipped his head around to see what the velo was on the scoreboard.
Well, that's one thing that really has not been an issue this year. The velocity even going far back, spring training was very encouraging and up all year long, certainly from last year. Another curveball there on 0-2. Frias warming up in the bullpen. Good location for that cutter. Madison gets strikeout number 2. And there are 2 outs in the 4th. Here comes Harper.
Designated hitter, Bryce Harper.
Harper has an RBI double. He rounded out his last time up. Harper in his first at bat back from injury on Friday in Philadelphia after he missed 52 games with that broken left thumb. Hit a 2-run single into right field in the first inning. Hoskins back safely. Fans went crazy, as you can imagine they might. Torrey wants to check that one. Play on. That's belted down the line and fair in the corner. Hoskins on the move, headed for third. Dusty Wathan puts the brakes on, and Harper has his second double tonight. That's the second time he slammed the ball into right field. And you know this is not something that Torey Lovullo wants to do, but it doesn't look like he's got much choice.
I mentioned there have been a lot of games this year that have started like this, but Mad Bum usually figures it out and finds a way to keep his team in the ball game. Doesn't appear like he's figuring anything out here tonight.
7 runs on 11 hits in 3 2/3, responsible for 2 base runners. 11 hits allowed is a season high for Madison, and he will leave trailing 7-0 back after this. Phillies hitters in the lineup each had 2 hits apiece against Madison Bumgarner. They gave up a lot of loud contact here tonight. 3 doubles and a home run in that mix. And here is Luis Frias, who worked a couple of scoreless outings on the last road trip, both in Kansas City and in Chicago. His 8th appearance of the year. JT Realmuto steps up with 2 on and 2 out here in the Phillies' 4th inning. They've already got 3 runs home. Well, the question that's going to have to be asked after the game is, now what? They took him out of the rotation and spent a lot of time in the lab, and it hasn't produced results, and everybody's frustrated for Madison and wants to see him do well, but it's a tough one.
Yeah, and we know one thing for sure. It's not due to a lack of effort.
Oh, absolutely not.
Trying to figure it out. A guy that's had the tremendous amount of success that he's had in his career, especially in the postseason. I'm sure it's very befuddling for him too.
And to his credit, he has stood tall in the clubhouse after starts, in between starts. He has answered every question patiently. He's trying to answer them as best he can, but the answers are the one thing that we're short on right now. Well, Frias, who has had trouble throwing strikes consistently at this level, is behind on Realmuto 3-0. The 8th man to bat in the Phillies' 4th. And he walks the first batter he faces to load the bases for Gene Segura.
That's unfortunate because the first pitch was a strike. It wasn't called a strike by Ramon DeJesus, but you never know what happens in the at bat. If you jump ahead 0-1 as opposed to falling behind 1-0 to a dangerous hitter, it might change your selection of pitches or where you throw them, but immediately fell behind in the count and then just couldn't find the strike zone.
Segura, the 9th man to bat in the inning, is 0 for 2. Here's a good fastball in there for a strike. If you've not yet seen Luis Frias, big, powerful guy, 6'3", 245, a converted third baseman who has climbed all the way up the Diamondbacks minor league system. 24-year-old right-hander. Walker's got that one, calls off Frias, and he's able to strand 3, but the Phillies get 3 more and hold a 7-0 lead. An easier choice than ever with our exciting and fuel-efficient lineup. Now get great offers across our full line. Shop at your local Nissan store at nissanusa.com. Back inside Chase Field, first of a 7-game homestand, 3 against the Phillies, 4 against the Milwaukee Brewers. And so far the opener's not gone all that well. It's 7-0 Philadelphia. Ranger Suarez, the Phillies lefty's yet to give up a base hit, and Josh Rojas leads off the home half of the 4th. Well, that was an extended 4th inning for Madison Bumgarner. 24 pitches. He threw 79 in 3 2/3. Rojas is the DH. He struck out his first time up. Suarez has been attacking with that sinker. He's been on point throughout, kept the ball down, and been very efficient as he usually is. There's strike 1 right at the knees. Suarez so far pitches per inning 11, 13, and 14. Just off the edge with that cut fastball. It's 1-1.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free seasoned beef crunchy tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
1-2 on Rojas. Josh has a hit in 12 of his last 15 games. He's hit in .322 over that stretch. He's been at the center of this offense for the last couple of months. Pokes it up the left field line, but out of play.
Yeah, this might be the deepest into the ball game we've ever seen Josh Rojas go without getting dirt on his uniform.
That might be the problem. He's too clean.
Go roll around the warning track a little bit before your next at bat. You know, you remember Casey Candell, utility
Expos,
player? Expos, sure. Astros. He was with a bunch of different teams. He used to come out of the clubhouse with his uniform on before the ball game and do a head-first slide in front of the dugout on the warning track just to get some dirt on his uniform before the game started.
Inspiring. Well, Rojas has always been a spark plug. Let's try to get into the seats, and it just gets over the screen out there. Quiet night around the Major League calendar today. The Giants and the Padres are meeting in San Francisco. San Diego has an early 3-0 lead there.
24th home run of the season for Brandon Drury in that ball game for the Padres.
Well, what a year he's had.
Yeah.
Dodgers at Miami. They beat the Marlins today 3-2.
Will Smith with a home run in that ball game for the Dodgers.
Rojas to first. Hoskins tosses to Suarez. And there's one away. And while we have a moment, let's get a message from 72 Sold.
Hey, baseball fans, 72 Sold has a new, better way to sell your home. It's fast, it's easy, and you can get thousands more. Check it out today at 72sold.com.
Ketel Marte, the second baseman. First time we've been able to say that since August 13th at Colorado. He will bat from the right-hand side against the lefty Ranger Suarez. Ketel popped up on the first pitch he saw his first time up. And launches that one off the plate for ball one. The initial plan that Torlavello told us last week was to get Ketel Marte on the field defensively at some point over the weekend in Chicago. That didn't quite happen. He DH'd the first two games, did not play yesterday, but he's back out there at second base tonight, so they're pretty much right on schedule. Doesn't chase that changeup. 2 balls and 1 strike. Got to get the bat going for Ketel. 27 games since the All-Star break. He's hit 194. And that'll help just by a diving stop. And that's the first Diamondback base hit.
Got to start somewhere.
That's right.
And the power is pretty much evaporated for Ketel Marte. Hasn't hit a home run in over a month now. Gets this ground ball to sneak through the left side. 1-out base hit to set it up here for Christian Walker.
Walker's hit a few.
Yeah.
He walked his first time up, had a very patient plate appearance. Christian 7 hits in 5 games on the road trip through Kansas City and Chicago. Diamondbacks called up Corbin Carroll today. That means Jordan Luplow is optioned to Reno. Now Luplow had been the backup first baseman for Walker, which is kind of like being a Maytag repairman these days. And now the backup first baseman, we're told, is on deck behind him, Emmanuel Rivera. We've seen Rivera play some first base. Hard to short and by Stott. Had a good start here to the 4th inning. Couple of 1-out singles. And here comes Emmanuel Rivera. Walker aboard for the second time.
Third baseman,
Rivera 18 games with the Diamondbacks, and boy has he been productive. 5 doubles, 5 homers. He's knocked in 11 runs. Well, the more you see Emmanuel Rivera play, the more you think you're going to have to find a spot for this guy someplace.
Yeah, you start trying to figure out playing time for all the guys that are making their way to the big league level, Rivera included, and it gets a little tough, gets a little sticky. Who gets to play, who has to sit?
I mean, especially a team that could use more right-hand power. Well, here it is right there, and he's looked very good defensively at third base, and can play first as well in a pinch. Got a lot of pop in that bat. Joe Mather, the hitting coach, said they saw that right away. First batting practice session. Suarez starting to just miss here and there a little bit. It's 2-0, falling behind in some counts. Ranger Suarez, 27-year-old left-hander, just turned 27 years old back on Friday. Just had a birthday last week. And,
come on now.
Ramon De Jesus.
No, don't nod your head. Yes, that was a strike. You missed it.
That was pretty low.
Way low.
I mean, how about the reach by Real Muto? And there's the reaction, understandably, by Rivera. So now it's 2 balls and 1 strike. And Rivera hits this toward the pool. That ball is going. It is going. And it's off the wall. This will score Marte. They'll stop Walker at third. An RBI double for Emmanuel Rivera, who just missed another opposite field home run. There's that pop in the bat we just talked about.
Yes, indeed. Just get the barrel on that ball, and good things tend to happen for Rivera. He drove that ball a long way out there over the head of Matt Vierling in right field. He's at the center of the plate, 90-mile-an-hour sinker that didn't sink that time, and Rivera's all over it.
Well, that's 3 consecutive one-out hits against Suarez, who had not given up any hits going into this inning. And a base hit right here from Stone Garrett, and it's a ball game again. Garrett homered yesterday in Chicago off Dylan Cease. I would say at 7-1, a base hit here is almost a requirement. Way up in the air, and that's leaking oil.
That had re-entry burns on it right there.
That's right.
It's hit a mile high foul down that left field line.
Stone Garrett, he's built out of stone. 6'2", 195, 26 years old. 8th round pick by Miami at a high school in Richmond, Texas. Diamondback free agent signee 2 years ago. And there's a base hit. Stone Garrett knocks it into left field. Walker's home. They stop Rivera at third, and it's an RBI for Stone Garrett. That's 4 consecutive one-out hits.
Looked like that might have been catcher's interference once again for Stone Garrett. That late swing just brushed the mid of JT Realmuto, not enough to affect his swing. Drove that ball through the left side right there to drive home the second run.
Caleb Cotham, the pitching coach. Boy, Suarez had not given up a hit through 3. Got the first batter in this 4th inning, and suddenly 4 in a row have reached. It's a 7-2 ball game. We're back with you tomorrow for a tremendous pitching matchup. Zach Gallen goes for the Diamondbacks against the Phillies' Aaron Nola. Diamondback Live pregame show at 6 o'clock on Valley Sports Arizona. That is going to be fun to watch. And this is the guy that, the way things have been going lately, you probably want at the plate right now. He's got Corbin Carroll on deck behind him. It's Jake McCarthy, who is attracting a lot of attention all over the National League. 290 on the year now, and had the big 2-out 9th inning RBI double that was the game-winning hit in Chicago yesterday that set the stage for that South Side sweep.
And as we travel around Major League Baseball, everybody wants to know about Jake McCarthy. After they see him run the bases, they want to know all about it.
Well, they know in Philly, this was McCarthy, comes up desperately needing a 2-out RBI knock in the 9th, and Jake delivers.
Nice controlled swing, got a pitch he could handle, and split that gap in right center field.
That was after Varsho had led off that inning with a base on balls. They built that inning. 2 walks in the inning, in fact, ahead of McCarthy. Remember, Rojas got thrown out at the plate, but the game deciding run able to come across. 0-2 on Jake. Corbin Carroll, the on deck hitter. McCarthy played 4 games on the trip, Kansas City and Chicago, and in 4 games had 7 hits, scored 4 runs, stole 3 bases, and knocked in a couple of RBIs. And he didn't even play in all the games. Realmuto hangs on to the foul tip, another sinker, and that's out number 2. And here comes Corbin Carroll. Carroll grounded out in his first big league at bat back in the 3rd.
How about this, partner? Games in the minor leagues before making your major league debut. For Corbin Carroll, it was the 142 minor league games. For Stone Garrett, it was 642. 500 more minor league games.
This is a young man that lost 2 full years of minor league development. And yet here he is, just having turned 22. Remember, he was drafted in 2019, played a half season of rookie ball that year. And then his first full minor league season canceled by COVID. Then last year, 7 games in, severely injured his right shoulder. That's his non-throwing shoulder, and needed season-ending surgery. So 2 years of development just gone. But it has not slowed him down.
Yeah, certainly perhaps his physical development was set back a little bit because of the lack of playing time. But, you know, as we documented in the pregame show, he was still at the ballpark every day, sitting with the scouts, sitting with his teammates, trying to learn as much about the game as he possibly could to ease that transition when he was physically able to start playing again.
They have called him a sponge, Corbin Carroll. The timeline to the major leagues for Corbin Carroll, drafted 16th overall, 2020 pandemic done, 2021 the shoulder injury done, and he has set the minor leagues on fire both at AA Amarillo and AAA Reno, and now here he is. Once more to Segura, little bobble there, and Carroll with the speed keeps the inning alive. Rivera comes across, and it's 7-3. There's that speed. Of all the tools he's got, that's the one that really jumps at you right away. They grade on a 20-80 scale. They say he has 80 speed.
Looked like he was going about 80 miles an hour down that first baseline. Gene Segura with a little bit of a bobble. That's all it takes. Give me a step. I'm going to beat it out.
There's the support system in place from Seattle. His favorite player growing up was Ichiro. Looked a little bit like him right there. E4 on the board. That's not Corbin Carroll's first ever hit, as here's Geraldo Perdomo now. But it gets in a run. Diamondbacks are chipping away here on Ranger Suarez, who was in total command going into this inning, but has given up 3 runs. Christopher Sanchez, the left-hander in the Phillies bullpen. Long inning here for Ranger Suarez. Sanchez just recalled from their AAA club in Lehigh Valley for the 4th time this year. And he's missing out there. Wasn't before, he is now. Caleb Cotham, the pitching coach, already been out there once. 8th man to bat in the Diamondback 4th inning, Geraldo Perdomo. 3 runs in, 2 on and 2 out. Buckled him that time with a curveball, and it's 2-2. Stone Garrett's at second, Corbin Carroll's at first. He's off a breaking ball, and it's full. Carson Kelly waiting on deck, the leadoff hitter, the only man not to bat in this Diamondback 4th inning so far. Garrett's at second, Carroll's at first. Runners will be off with a pitch. Hoskins behind the runner at first base. Here's the 3-2. There go the runners. Ball 4. They're loaded for Kelly. And the inning continues. Carson has struck out twice against Ranger Suarez so far. The last time was caught looking at a sinker right at the knees. Carson in the leadoff spot tonight against a left-hand starting pitcher like Tortorella likes to do. A chance to cash in on that idea right here. They're loaded with 2 outs. Starts him off with a curveball, and it's 0-1. Stone Garrett, the runner at third. Corbin Carroll, the runner at second. And Geraldo Perdomo is the runner at first. Base hit. Garrett scores. Carroll scores. They will wave Perdomo. Carson Kelly has cleared the bases.
Just like that, we've got a ball game. He left one right in the middle of the strike zone for Carson that time. A little bit of a tardy swing, but it works out well. A slicing liner down into that right field corner. Good speed on the bases for the Diamondbacks, and Carson cleans them up.
Rob Thompson out to the mound. You've got the left-hand batting Josh Rojas coming up. The left-hander Sanchez is warming up in the bullpen, and it's a ball game again. It's a 6-run Diamondbacks 4th, and we're still going. Come on back. Kelly, it's a ball game again. A 2-out, 3-run double for Carson has made it a 1-run deficit after the Diamondbacks trailed at 7-0. And on from the Phillies bullpen, 25-year-old left-hander Christopher Sanchez, who has been up and down from their AAA club at Lehigh Valley 4 different times this year. He just got called up last week, and last Wednesday was the starting pitcher for the Phillies at home. He went 6 innings against the Cincinnati Reds and got the win.
Yeah, he's had 3 starts at the major league level this year, 8 relief appearances, and of his 8 relief appearances, 4 of those were at least 2 innings or more.
Well, a base hit now, down 7-0. Can tie the ball game at 7. The batter is Josh Rojas, who's 0 for 2. A 6-run Diamondback 4th. Rojas, the 10th man to bat in that 4th inning. Well, he just got rid of a lefty that throws a sinker, and what do you get? A sinker from the new lefty. 0-1. 3rd time this season the Diamondbacks have scored at least 6 runs in an inning. Remember that Cueto 6-run second on, was that Saturday? What day is it today? Who knows?
That was Friday.
Yeah,
right?
Friday, you're right. They got a 6-run second against Johnny Cueto Friday in Chicago. Had a 5-run second against Dallas Martin on Saturday. And tonight a 6-run 4th, and hopefully still counting. Christopher Sanchez in that start last week against the Reds threw 83 pitches in 6 innings. No walks, 7 strikeouts. Sanchez reaches up and collects that one, and they strand Carson Kelly. And it's a 6-run 4th, and it's a 1-run game after 4.
This is the place to be in the Valley tonight. I'm Todd Walsh, and we were here with the Carroll clan. I lost count after a dozen, but I'm here with Mom and Dad, Palin and Brant Carroll. I'll just start with you, Dad. Can you explain how many of the Carroll clan there are here tonight?
I think we got 4 family and a lot of friends, a lot of close, we'll call them family too. So we got 12, 15 people here.
And to Mrs. Carroll, I have to ask, what is this like? Your son just turned 22 years old. Just the other day, you're watching him play in the major leagues.
It is beyond my wildest dream. It is phenomenal. It's so fun to see everyone turn out to support him and cheer for him.
He was almost at a loss for words today when he was asked what it would mean for you and the rest of the family. He said that he owes you guys so much. So can you articulate what this means to the group, not just for this day, but this journey and all the highs and lows, especially the COVID season and then the surgery? What does it mean to you and to him, do you think?
I think maybe the fact that he's so determined, that he saw it through, that he never lost his way, and he just did it one day at a time, and that the D-backs were so supportive from top down of his recovery process. Very grateful for all of that, and that he has done all of that in a year's time.
There's a wonderful story from our friend Steve Gilbert at MLB.com where he talked about, and through you, that he understood and learned to fail, because this is a sport of failure, and that is a big part of it, handling that. How did you instill that in him?
Fail early and often.
Yeah.
Always one of our family. There's no shame in failing. There's only shame in not trying. So he did it.
Yes, he did. The dad, Steve, that's a shot somewhere to center, I believe. I have to ask this, and I love asking fathers this along the way. When did you know? When did you think, wait a minute, I think my son's got a shot?
When I saw him walk across the chalk today. I mean, I think you can't take anything for granted. You can't get caught up in any hype. Watching Corbin, watch his determination. I mean, I think I had a pretty good idea once he was a senior in high school that he could really take this somewhere. But I didn't know he would be on this kind of field until tonight.
But here's what I know, sitting behind you, on the ball that he just hit to keep that inning alive. Before the ball got to the pitcher's mound, you were up because you knew that he was going to push Segura. You knew instantly, didn't you, because of his speed?
I've been watching this since he was 5.
I also couldn't help notice, and this is the world that we live in 2022 and the technology, that within milliseconds, all the phones along this row lit up because there were being screen grabs being sent of all of your reactions. There are people watching all over the country and sharing in this joy, aren't they?
You know, this is so exciting for us as parents. And it's so exciting to know we've got so many friends, so many other family members, other places that can't be here tonight. And just, you know, the love and the feeling of support, it's beyond words.
Well, enjoy this. Enjoy every moment of it. Thanks for letting me intrude. I hate to do this, but to be here to watch that rally go and see the guys clicking through that order and realizing we were going to be able to watch your son do what he did there is a moment that I'll never forget, and I know everyone watching at home. So, guys, thanks for letting us share here in Valley Sports. Enjoy the rest of the night and enjoy the ride with your son. Thank you, Mrs. Carroll.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Carroll.
Thank you. We'll never forget it.
I didn't think you would. Steve, Bob, we'll send it back upstairs to you.
Thank you, Todd. Well done. I've been watching this since he was 5. That was a great line.
That is a great line.
Well, good job here by Luis Frias. Got that strikeout of Veerling. Now faces Brandon Marsh. And there's a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, and he's ahead immediately 0-2. And that was obviously a very, very important play in that Diamondback 6-run 4th inning when Corbin Carroll kept the inning alive, set it up for the Perdomo walk and the Carson Kelly 3-run double, just using that speed.
Well, the Phillies have scored in each of the first 4 innings of this game for the first time since August of 2019. That was a game against the Miami Marlins. You'd like to finally put a 0 up on the board in the Phillies column here, and Frias is a strike away. '99 up and away. I'll take that. Luis Frias is a converted third baseman. He was signed by the Diamondbacks out of the Dominican Republic as a third baseman, and was converted into a pitcher early in his career. And this is a power arm who drops a slider in there and gets a couple of strikeouts and a 1-2-3-5. Diamondbacks have come back to make it a game again. It's 7-6. The Fry's inning of winning here, and a guy from the ASU golf team couldn't sink a putt.
No. Didn't win anything. Drive for show, putt for dough.
Oh boy, hit him straight. Hey, the D-backs face the Brewers starting this Thursday, September 1st through Sunday the 4th. Saturday night, first 10,000 fans with us to our game against the Brewers. Get this exclusive Cattell cap courtesy of Talking Stick Resort. Get your tickets now at dbacks.com. Well, it was a new course. He hadn't, didn't line up the putt.
No local knowledge at all.
There you go. Here is Cattell Marte. Leads off the 5th inning now in what is a suddenly 7-6 ball game. Marte jumps on that one. A changeup that just kind of hung there, couldn't keep it fair, and there's a long run for Lisa Cross.
Hey, you mentioned the Brewers rolling into town after the Phillies. They're tied up with the Pirates tonight in the 9th inning, 5-5. O'Neill Cruz and Rodolfo Castro with homers for the Pirates in that game.
And in the meantime, the Cardinals trying to keep the Brewers off their heels, beating up on the Reds in Cincinnati. It's 12-4 in the 8th inning there.
Tyler O'Neill with 2 more home runs tonight. He is some kind of locked in right now.
Padres still lead 3-0 at San Francisco. 0-2. Here it's the first of 3, Diamondbacks and the Phillies. A rough one today for Madison Bumgarner, who did not survive the 4th inning, as the Phillies scored in each of the first 4 innings to take a 7-0 lead. Diamondbacks have answered back with a 6-run 4th. That one went under the glove of Alec Bowman up the line. Marte takes the turn. Schwarber's got it in the corner, and Marte's got a leadoff double. Cattell 2 for 3.
In a good spot, forces Bowman to go to his backhand that time on a high chopper, and Bowman just tried to sweep it with the glove and fanned on it completely all the way down in the left field corner.
All right, well, down a run in the 5th inning. Leadoff man is in scoring position for Christian Walker, who has walked and singled. Christian's next run batted in will match his career high set 3 years ago.
Might as well do it right now. Get it out of the way.
That's kind of what I was thinking. That one gets out of play as I toss seamlessly to this message from Gila River Resorts and Casinos.
Nice.
Every visit supports the community. When you play with us, you play for good.
Well, seamlessly might have been a stretch. Still working on those. Ball and a strike. There's a look for Moscam behind home plate. Our director Brian Moss climbs up the screen every day before the ball game and hooks that thing up.
Well, you can see from that particular angle, you look out there at Sanchez on the mound, he looks like he's about 10 feet tall. Long and lean, tall and skinny, standing on top of that mound. He even looks taller.
Christopher Sanchez, 6'1", 165 pounds. 25 years old, out of the Dominican Republic.
Maybe it's the socks. He looks a lot taller than 6'1".
Well, his socks are 5'5". Walker spits on that changeup. It's 3-1. Trying to build another big inning here after a 6-run fourth. Emmanuel Rivera on deck. Rivera had an RBI double in the fourth. All four. Good start to this fifth inning. First two are aboard.
We talked about it at length in that White Sox series, and it kind of gets lost in the shuffle of the box score and the big base hits and the home runs. But there were a couple of really key walks in those rallies in Chicago to keep innings going, get other guys to the plate, keep the line moving.
Yeah, the big one for me was the Geraldo Perdomo walk with 2 outs in that second inning against Johnny Cueto. And then the next two batters, Rojas and Rivera, drove in 5 runs, and boom, it was a 6-run second against Cueto, who had been unhittable lately. A chance for Rivera. That sinker is low, says Ramon DeJesus, and it's 1-0. Rivera back in there after an off day yesterday in Chicago. Real Muto going to have to think of something quick here. Phillies 7 runs, 11 hits. Diamondbacks 6 runs, 6 hits. They have made it a ball game again.
Rivera took the opportunity with Real Muto going out to the mound to talk to Ramon DeJesus, a home plate umpire. I used to do that occasionally myself. You know, this guy's sinker's consistently dropping out of the zone.
Yeah, that's why it's not a strike. Right?
Just whatever you need to say to the guy to plant a seed in his mind. Oh, sinker's down. Yeah, those are low.
Smooth talker. 2-0.
Used to do it with my pitchers too. Boy, you're lucky today. When I was behind the plate catching, I'd tell the home plate umpire as the pitcher was warming up, boy, good day for you. This guy has been on top of his game.
I'm not sure we could say that for Sanchez right now.
No. Yeah, he's just been pounding the corners of the strike zone lately.
A double by Marte, the walk to Walker. Now 3-0 on Rivera.
Green light. Didn't want it.
It's all right. Remember, the Phillies lost a game to the Mets back in May that they had a 7-0 lead after 4. Mets got a 7-run ninth. They won that one 8-7. Maybe Phillies fans having some flashbacks. The inning has started off double walk. They are loaded for Stone Garrett. And here's some big time slugs stepping up to the plate. Stone had an RBI single in that 6-run fourth inning.
Get the barrel on one right here.
I'm not sure he's going to see a strike. Well, Sanchez has thrown 19 pitches, more balls than strikes. He's got Marte at third, Walker at second, and Rivera's at first. And nobody out. 2-0. He's got to stay patient right here.
Well, make sure it's a pitch you want to swing at. This is where you get real selective. Hitters call it keyholing. That's about how big his strike zone should be right now, about the size of a keyhole. And if that pitch is in the keyhole, give it a good rip.
Yeah, that was way out there. That's exactly what you didn't want to do. Chase a bad one on 2-0, but still in command here. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Some oohs and ahs from the crowd here. That big swing from Stone Garrett on a fastball up and away.
Stone Garrett, the right-hand version of what is a very crowded, mostly left-hand batting outfield mix right now with a lot of young talent. Chance here to continue to make his mark. He's been very impressive. 2 balls and 2 strikes. He chased 3 bad ones there and got himself out.
Yeah, just a little overly aggressive that time. Obviously, he wants to drive in those runs, but you got to get a pitch to do it with. That one way off the plate away.
Jake McCarthy is the hitter. Jake has grounded out, struck out 0 for 2. Coming off a big road trip through Kansas City and Chicago. I mean, I think if Stone Garrett had not swung, he would have walked in the tying run.
Yep.
And I'm not sure Sanchez can throw a strike right now. He got him. And the game is tied. Is Jake McCarthy okay? And Marte comes across at 7-7.
Oh my, that hurts. Boy, and that is going to leave an unbelievably colorful bruise moving forward. Oh man.
Well, that'll get Madison Bumgarner off the hook. He was down 7-0. It's now 7-7. Caleb Cotham and a translator out to the mound to talk to this youngster who's really coming unglued here after he got the final out of the 4th. Andrew Bellotti, the right-hander, warming up in the Philly bullpen. Well, this is a terrific spot for Corbin Carroll's first major league hit. Here he comes, making his major league debut tonight. And he's up there with the bases full in a tie ball game. Diamondbacks first round pick in the 2019 draft, a prep player out of Lakeside School in Seattle. Considered by many the #1 prospect in all of Major League Baseball. Just turned 22 years old last week. A tremendous season in the minors, first at AA in Amarillo, then AAA Reno. I mean, every once in a while, Ramon de Jesus, the strike zone expands. Corbin Carroll in the minors this year, 307, 24 home runs, a 425 on base. He's got a lot of friends and family here tonight. 2 balls and 1 strike. Geraldo Perdomo on deck.
Corbin Carroll finds a gap, and there's his first major league knock. Walker is home. Rivera's home. They stop McCarthy. It's a 2-run double for Corbin Carroll, and there's major league hit number 1. I think this kid's going to stick.
Biggest hit of his career. Got a breaking ball down over the plate. Finds that gap in left center field. Rivera with a real good read out there at second base, scores easily, and Jake McCarthy with his speed was thinking about it.
And let's check out the reaction from the Carroll clan. Diamondbacks trailed it 7-0. They have answered with a 6-run fourth. 3 more home in this 5th inning. Still just 1 out. That's it for Sanchez. It was 7-0. Now it's 9-7. Corbin Carroll knocks in 2, and we are back in a moment. Chase Field, we've just seen Corbin Carroll's first major league hit in his big league debut. A 2-run double that has given the Diamondbacks a 9-7 lead. Make sure you have the Bally Sports app. You can follow Corbin Carroll and the Diamondbacks. You can stream the games in D-Backs Live. You'll get more team coverage, replays, and exclusive content. D-Backs Baseball on the Bally Sports app is presented locally by Nissan. Well, on to the 3rd Phillies pitcher. You wouldn't expect that in a game they led 7-0, but here it is, 9-7 Diamondbacks, and this is the right-hander Andrew Bellotti, who is pitching for his 3rd major league team. He spent 2015 with Tampa Bay, did not make the majors for 6 more years. He was with the Marlins last season, and this year making his 47th appearance for the Phillies. Jake McCarthy, who got plunked in the ribs to tie the ball game, is at 3rd. Corbin Carroll, the 2-run double at 2nd. Still just 1 out, 3 runs home. And the batter is Geraldo Perdomo. Infield creeping in for Philadelphia. Bellotti is a strikeout pitcher, 60 strikeouts in 41 innings this year. Of course, to strike guys out, you usually have to throw strikes. Carson Kelly, who had the big hit in that 6-run 4th inning, a 2-out 3-run double. I'll make that a 1-out 3-run double. No, 2 outs. He's on deck. That made it 7-6. It's now 9-7. Here's the 3-0 Perdomo.
Take a rip. You get a green light 3-0 and get a pitch you like. Put a good swing on it. Try to do some damage.
Got the infield in. Runners at 2nd and 3rd. Throws bunt, pulls back, takes ball 4. They're loaded again.
And for the second consecutive inning, the Diamondbacks will send a 9th man up to the plate. And for the second straight time, it's Carson Kelly who delivered that 3-run double in the 4th. I'm starting to lose track of how many big innings have been held by a Geraldo Perdomo based on balls.
You're absolutely right. I mean, you don't normally see that kind of patience out of a 9-hole hitter. There's usually a reason a guy's hitting 9th in your lineup, but Perdomo's content to take that walk if you don't give him a pitch to hit.
Impressive for a 22-year-old.
Yep.
So here is Carson Kelly. Carson not waiting around. He dunks it into right field. McCarthy scores. They will stop Corbin Carroll. It's another RBI for Carson Kelly. That's his 4th tonight. And the Diamondbacks, who once trailed 7-0, now lead it 10-7. And they have batted around for the second consecutive inning.
Right off the end of Carson Kelly's bat that time. Little floater out into shallow right center field. Boy, Corbin Carroll really wanted to score on that play, but he had to hold up momentarily to make sure that ball got down. Bases still loaded now
for Josh Rojas. Josh 0 for 3. This is not going to be deep enough to get a run home. Segura's out there. And that's out number 2. Well, you'd like to extend this lead even further. A golden opportunity for Ketel Marte, who has single, doubled, and scored twice tonight. And it's Stark back at second base. Corbin Carroll is at 3rd. Geraldo Perdomo is at 2nd, and Carson Kelly's at 1st.
Having to get a little creative with the scorebook.
I know.
Back-to-back innings with more than 9 hitters going to the plate.
A 6-run 4th and a 4-run 5th. You talk about building an inning.
Oh yeah.
The Diamondbacks have never in their history won a game that they trailed by at least 7 runs. They trail this one 7-0. They have a 10-7 lead, and it's only the bottom of the 5th. It's 2-0. Well, that's happened a couple too many times. Still 2 balls and 1 strike. Ketel still ahead in the count. It's 3-1. Walker on deck. Diamondbacks have already drawn 3 bases on balls in this inning. 2 of them have already scored. The other one is down there at second base, Geraldo Perdomo. That man had a 7-0 lead. Now he's down 3. 3-1 to Ketel Marte.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was the pitch.
Put a good swing on it too. Just a little bit underneath. That one fouled it straight back. Not all bad. Now you got a full count with 2 outs, bases loaded. Everybody's going to be in motion as the pitch is delivered.
Corbin Carroll at third, Geraldo Perdomo at second, Carson Kelly at first, 3-2 to Ketel Marte with 2 outs. He's walked in a run, make it 11-7, and Walker will get a chance. Christian has been on base all 3 times he's been up there. 2 walks and a single. He has scored twice. Pitch number 40 in this inning from Phillies pitchers to Christian Walker. That's a strike at the knees. It's 0-1. Six in the 4th. They've scored 5 in the 5th. Couldn't keep it. A slider. Couldn't keep it fair, and it's 0-2.
This is where that pitch com really comes in. I was just thinking about Carson Kelly out there at second base peering in at the signs, but there are no signs with the pitch com. Catchers, more than any other player on the field, are familiar with the signs and the sequences and how you go about giving signs with a runner at second base, but with the pitch com, that's taken completely out of the equation.
Just trying to speed things up. Discourage any hanky-panky looking at signs. Not that that would ever happen. No. Is that a garbage can? 0-2. Walker's had a big month of August. 7 homers, 20 runs knocked in 25 games. Up there with the bases full and 2 outs. Didn't go. That's Dan Merzel down there. Christian still alive at 2-2. Diamondbacks have never won a game that they trailed by at least 7 runs. The Phillies have already blown a 7-run lead earlier this year against the Mets. 2-2. It's full. Emmanuel Rivera would be next. Three-two. Here's Lisa Cross, ranging way out to the warning track.
Yeah, she took too shallow of a line after that ball, and it got past her.
Thanks a lot, Dave McKay. He's walked in another run, make it 12-7. 5th walk in this inning, drawn by Diamondback hitters, and 3 of them have scored. That's the 3rd base on balls for Christian tonight, and he has matched his career best RBI total with 73.
Probably not how he expected to get a career high in RBIs, but we'll take it.
Absolutely. A 6-run fourth has been followed by a 6-run fifth. And here is Rivera, who has doubled, walked, and scored twice. A little too aggressive here.
Yeah.
0-2.
He reminded himself after that first pitch, make him get it up, make him get it up. You can see him with his palm up, just reminding himself, see the ball up in the zone, and then he chased almost the same pitch again.
Easier said than done.
Yep.
Even when you're talking to yourself. Oh, 2.
Flip a coin.
Yeah, JT Realmuto's got a pretty good case right there. Pitch number 50 in this half inning from Phillies pitchers on the way to Emmanuel Rivera. It's 2-2.
Boy, and that pitch was just about at the limit of what JT Realmuto can reach coming out of that one knee down setup behind the plate. He reached across, had his right foot extended over in the left-handed batter's box, and a couple more inches and that one gets by him.
Alani has thrown 24 pitches, only 10 strikes. Got him. They leave him loaded, but it's another 6-run inning as the Diamondbacks bat around for the second consecutive inning. A 6-run fourth and a 6-run fifth, including Corbin Carroll's first major league hit, a 2-run double. It's 12-7 Diamondbacks. What a night to be at the ballpark. It's Diamondbacks baseball, brought to you by Gila River Resorts and Casinos. And what a ball game it's been. Diamondbacks trailed it at 1.7-0 after the top of the fourth inning. They have come back and batted around in consecutive innings. A 6-run fourth followed by a 6-run fifth, including Corbin Carroll's first major league hit, a 2-run double. It is the 14th time in Diamondbacks franchise history they've sent at least 9 batters to the plate in consecutive innings. And Luis Frias is back out there after a 1-2-3 fifth, and Kyle Schwarber, who homered in the fourth, will lead off the Phillies' sixth. Schwarber has singled, homered, and knocked in 4 runs. This was Schwarber against Madison Bumgarner in the fourth. StatCast 3D is powered by Google Cloud, and this one went far.
Yes, it did. For those of you who follow current events, you'll know that the Artemis rocket did not launch today, but Kyle Schwarber did.
That's some of your best work right there.
Thank my staff.
Well,
I couldn't think of the name of the rocket.
Stupid rocket.
Stupid rocket.
Overshift is on that first base side against Schwarber, who bats leadoff for this Phillies lineup. Leading the National League. That home run is 36th of the year. Phillies have still out-hit the Diamondbacks 11-8, but they trail it down 12-7. Frias has been kind of sneaky good here. Came into just a mess in the fourth inning. Walked the first batter he faced, then got Segura to end that fourth inning, and now a 1-2-3 fifth. As Caleb Smith, just activated from the injured list today, is getting loose in the Sanderson Ford bullpen. Schwarber. Oh my goodness, Christian Walker. Wow. That should have knocked his glove into the right field corner. Whoa. 111 miles an hour into the Gold Glove of Christian Walker.
He didn't even really have time to gather himself to make that leap. Just had to immediately go up in the air and throw the glove up there. What a play.
111 off the bat.
Christian indicating to the bench how high off the ground he was there on that leap.
He's got some big hops. Rhys Hoskins has singled twice. '97, right by a pretty good hitter right there, Rhys Hoskins.
Well, we were talking about Rhys Hoskins the other day. It was the anniversary of his major league debut when he hit 11 home runs in his first 14 games.
That's on a play. It attracted a lot of attention. Hoskins already with 4 career seasons of at least 25 home runs, including this one. He's got 26. Slider had a chance. It's 2-2. This Hoskins' biggest issue has always been staying healthy. He's had a lot of injury issues over the years. Two-two. Went back to that slider, missed again, and now it's full. Alec Bohm, who has a couple of hits and has scored twice, is on deck, and then it's Bryce Harper. Looking down the barrel at Luis Frias. 3-2 to Rhys Hoskins. Got him to pop it up. Walker again. This one might be a little easier. Calls off Carson. And that's out number 2. Well, all right, I want to have a disclaimer here. I'm being asked to read this promo, but I don't feel good about it. It is ASU night here tonight. All right, we got Sun Devils all over the place, but I am obligated to remind you that college nights continue with U of A night. Coming up Wednesday, September 14th. That's presented by Chase. You can get our special event ticket pack and a lower level ticket to the D-backs Dodger game. Plus this pretty awesome co-branded, again, there it is.
Yeah, these are all over the ballpark tonight.
Smart move.
These will be.
Equal time. Very well played. D-backs.com/U of A. Through the wickets, backhanded by Marte. Luis Frias. There's your shutdown inning. 1, 2, 3 in the 6th. We're all on our feet here tonight. What a ball game. Down 7-0. They lead at 12-7 now. Smile. It'll fix your hair. Okay, that's better. D-backs Spanish broadcast is back Sunday. Bally Sports Arizona Extra. Well, I'll just let them tell you.
Cuando los cerveceros de Milwaukee estén visitando a los Diamondbacks de Arizona, que será de hecho, Rodrigo, el final de la estancia, el 7º partido consecutivo aquí en Phoenix de los Diamondbacks.
No se lo pierdan contra los cerveceros de Milwaukee, otro equipo que está en la contendencia con la producción de Mike López en Bally Sports Arizona Extra. Ahí estaremos, aquí los esperamos.
Aquí estaremos a la 1 de la tarde, el inicio de la tarde.
The Hall of Famer Oscar Soria and Sábado Rodrigo. There might be an issue out here with Bellotti, who is checking in with the umpires. Andrew Bellotti, the right-hander, having a moment here with Lance Barrett. I think is this an injury issue or a grounds crew issue? I think it might be a grounds crew scenario.
It looked to me like Lance Barrett indicated that Bellotti had something on the back of his left arm there. Put some rosin on the back of his left arm, which I guess is Not good. They called for a towel, and the bat boy ran one out there, and now we're ready to go.
Pitchers can use rosin only on their hand, wrist, and forearms, according to the rules. Stone Garrett leads off the 6th. Rosin's become a touchy thing with all the sticky stuff policing going on. Of course, they have tried hard in Major League Baseball and think they've found a way to develop a standard rosin bag. They've begun getting the rosin from Honduras.
Yeah, it used to be each team was responsible for the rosin bags at their home field, and generally they would take a sanitary sock and put some rosin rock in it and then mash it with a hammer a few times to turn it into powder, and then that was what was out there behind the mound during the game. But these are much neater, nicer.
Teams are no longer allowed to provide their own rosin. The standard rosin is provided now by the league. It is unsealed and inspected by the umpires before every game. So they really keep a close eye on that stuff. Well, the Phillies had a 7-0 lead. They gave up 6 runs in the 4th inning, 6 more in the 5th inning. The last time Philadelphia allowed at least 6 runs in consecutive innings was July of 1997 at San Francisco. So what just happened to the Phillies has not happened since '97. 2-2 to Stone Garrett. Started chasing some sliders. Second time tonight that Stone has struck out. Our Gila River Resorts and Casinos game summary. This is how it went. The first 3 innings, 10 hitters came to the plate, and then they had 10 come to the 4th and 12 in the 5th. And it added up to a whole bunch of runs. "14th time in Diamondbacks franchise history they batted around in consecutive innings." Here's Jake McCarthy. It's the first time in franchise history Diamondbacks have scored at least 6 runs in consecutive innings, and it's also the first time it's been done by any team this year. Last time it happened in the major leagues, Dodgers did it against the Diamondbacks in July of 2021. A 7-run 7th and a 6-run 8th. I blotted that game from my memory bank.
What game?
I had it removed. What game? Right. One and 2 on Jake. Corbin Carroll on deck after his first career big league hit in that 6-run 5th inning, a 2-run double. Couldn't check. Well, that slider's starting to really get him some swing and miss. And here comes Corbin Carroll. His major league debut, just turned 22 years old last week. Their first-round pick in a 2019 draft. What a year he's had in the minors. 24 home runs, 31 stolen bases with that tremendous speed. Sanderson Ford bullpen. Left-hander Caleb Smith off the injured list today. Tyler Holton was optioned to AAA Reno. Torlavello made an interesting point about Corbin Carroll's arrival today. He said there's always a built-in barrier between minor league levels, especially between AAA and the big leagues. But the Diamondbacks really make it a point to structure things so they eliminate that barrier. So when young players walk in here, they haven't met the manager for the first time. They're not just meeting the GM for the first time. They've been in the ballpark before. So that barrier kind of comes down a little bit. And they perhaps feel a little bit more at home. Well, there's a bounce back for Bellotti, who strikes out the side. And we go to the 7th. It's 12-7. Here's his first big league hit, a 2-run double, part of the 6-run Diamondbacks 5th inning. It's the best coverage in the game from the T-Mobile coverage cam.
Your first major league hit is always a big deal, but especially when you drive home a couple of runs. You want to get involved as quickly as you can when you're making your major league debut, and boy, he has gotten involved quickly.
Just punched it into left center, a 2-run double. Here is left-hander Caleb Smith on to start the 7th inning. His 32nd appearance of the year, but his first since July 30th in Atlanta. Caleb, as you may recall, has been out with a fractured right hand. That's clearly his non-pitching hand. And I asked Torrey what happened, and he said, well, Caleb broke his hand by punching something he shouldn't have been punching.
Yeah, and he's got a wrap on his wrist there. I would assume it's connected to the formerly broken finger. I don't think that'll cause a problem with the umpires. You're not usually allowed to wear anything like a glove or anything on your glove hand, for that matter.
He has been able to, obviously, since it's his non-pitching hand, to keep his arm and elbow and everything loose and throw and have someone catch the ball or whatever. They work it out. But he's got a contraption all hooked up there, and now is game ready. As welcome back, you get to face Bryce Harper. Go get him.
I mentioned it earlier. Bryce Harper loves that first pitch this year. He's really been aggressive.
Harper has doubled twice and knocked in a run tonight. Just came back on Friday after missing 52 games with a broken left thumb. Suffered back on June 25th.
Yeah, Bryce Harper, his pre-swing routine has really evolved over the years. A little shimmy shake. He touches the ground. He taps his toe. He touches home plate a couple of times.
I don't think I've ever seen a move like that. It's kind of like a chubby checker deal. With the feet together and then the hip swivel. Twist again like we did last summer.
Good. Bryce Harper facing Johnny Cueto.
Worlds are colliding.
Yep.
George is getting upset. 3-1. JT Realmuto, the catcher, on deck. And then it's Gene Segura. 4, 5, and 6 in the Philadelphia 7. They have out hit the Diamondbacks 11-8. And Caleb Smith issues a leadoff walk.
Catcher, JT Realmuto.
Here is your Realmuto, who has reached on an error and stolen a base. He's a perfect 17 for 17 on the year. He's driven in a run with a sac fly, and he's walked. Realmuto's had an odd season offensively, and it just seemed to have taken him a while to get going. Over May and June, he hit .227, but he's been more than 100 points better than that in June and July, nearly .330.
Popped up shallow center. McCarthy coming in. Marte ranging way out there, but Jake has got it. And there's one away. And that brings up Gene Segura.
Second baseman, Gene Segura.
You've got Harper, who just came back from a broken left thumb. You've got Segura, who just came back from surgery on his right index finger, injured when he was bunting back at the end of May. A couple of key bats the Phillies played without for months at a time this summer. Philadelphia opening up a road trip. They play 3 here and then an off day Thursday, 3 at San Francisco against the Giants over the weekend. And this is a point now that they're healthy. Guys like Harper are back. Segura's back. Wheeler's expected back soon. They think they're ready to make a run. This is the first game for the Phillies tonight to begin a stretch of 22 consecutive games against sub 500 teams. So if they're going to make a move on the Mets and the Braves, they've got to do it now.
Yeah, we've said that a few times about the Diamondbacks this year. If they want to make a move on the Giants and advance into 3rd place in the West, now's the time to make a move. You know, just because the team is under 500, they might be playing their best ball of the season at that particular time.
Sure.
Ask the White Sox.
I was just thinking that, actually. It's not who you play, it's when you play them. Wow. We'll take it. Segura is rung up. Don't forget, you have until the end of this 7th inning to get your raffle tickets. Diamondbacks Give Back Charity Raffle, supported by Bally Sports Arizona. Jackpot is over $16,000. And you can get your tickets, your chance to win half the pot at dbacks.com/5050 up until the end of this 7th inning. Bryson Stott, the shortstop. A little low that time, and it's 3-0. Matt Vierling would be next. Bryson Stott, only 24 years old. He is the shortstop moving forward for the Phillies. They released Didi Gregorius earlier this month. Their bullpen has been busy for the most part. Jose Alvarado, the left-hander, warming up down there, and that's the 2nd walk issued in this inning by Caleb Smith. So here is a chance for Vierling, the right fielder. They do not have Nick Castellanos. He is active and on the bench, but battling turf toe. And so we may not see Castellanos in this series, but he is available. Vierling gets the start in right field. Bryce Harper at 2nd. Bryson Stott at 1st. Bryson.
Oh, how about that?
Just came back from Sebi and Romy. Now we have Bryson. Well, Vierling has been a very good player for the Phillies this year. He singled and has scored a run tonight. He's hit safely in 6 of 7. Very athletic guy. They can move all over the field. Right on the corner with a slider. It got back there for a strike, and it's 1-1.
Sanderson Ford bullpen. One of the newest Diamondbacks, the former Giant and Dodger, Reyes Moranta. Caleb, a little rusty as you might imagine. He's got his right hand all kind of taped up there. 18 pitches so far, only 8 for strikes.
Two and two. Padres have opened up a 6-2 lead on the Giants. They're in the 5th inning at Oracle Park. Dodgers winners earlier tonight in Miami beat the Marlins 3-2. Cardinals and Brewers both won in that National League Central race. And Beerley goes out there, chases a fastball, 2 walks and 2 strikeouts in the inning for Caleb Smith, who's back in town. Time to stretch a Chase. Major League debut for Corbin Carroll, your Nationwide Vision Center eye on the game in front of family and friends. And what a ball game it's been. Diamondbacks trailed it at one point 7-0, but they got 6 runs in the 4th inning, 6 more in the 5th inning. They batted around in consecutive innings and now have a 12-7 lead. And here is the 4th Phillies pitcher on the night, the big left-hander Jose Alvarado, who pitched 4 years with the Tampa Bay Rays, now in his 2nd season with Philadelphia, and this is his 47th appearance of the year.
Now, our Nationwide Vision Center's eye on the game was mostly about the offense in this game, because there's been a whole bunch of offense, but don't lose sight of what Luis Frias did tonight, coming in relief.
Yeah.
Put up 2 1/3 of scoreless ball, did not allow a hit, struck out 2, 1 walk. Outstanding job by Frias tonight.
Here on ASU night at the ballpark, some Sun Devils in the house. They have scored 12 runs without the benefit of a home run. And they have used mostly a lot of walks, bases on balls. In fact, Perdomo, who will lead off the 7th against Alvarado, has walked twice and scored twice. Diamondbacks hitters tonight have drawn 7 bases on balls. 4 of those walks have scored. 2 other of those walks came with the bases full to force in a run. So here's Alvarado, who's put up some big strikeout totals, 58 strikeouts in 38 innings. And Perdomo leads off the 7th. All kinds of firsts, never befores, this time, last times. And your staff is busy going through all of them. Don't want to bury you in that stuff, but there's a couple of interesting nuggets here. It's the 4th time in Diamondbacks franchise history they've batted around in consecutive innings, 14th time. It's the 1st time in Diamondbacks history they have scored at least 6 runs in consecutive innings, and it's the 1st time any team in the majors has done it this year.
Wow, 94-mile-an-hour cutter right down near the kneecaps that time.
One and 2 on Geraldo. Perdomo sends one to center for a base hit. He's aboard for the 3rd time tonight.
From Look, he went right back to that cutter again. This time Perdomo's ready for it. Bangs it out there into center field for a leadoff. Not good start once again.
Oh, big night for Carson Kelly. He's knocked in 4 runs, a single and a double, 2 for 4. There's that cutter right under the bat of the barrel of the bat, the nape of the neck. How come you're here? I'll have a steak sandwich and a steak sandwich. 0-1 on Carson Kelly.
You sound a little like Ron Wolfley this morning on the radio. I heard him talking about I can't remember what he was describing, but he was saying you have to take it on a case-by-case basis, but instead he said a base-by-base cases.
Hang in there, Wolf.
Yeah.
Ooh. 2-1, 100-mile-an-hour sinker. Well, the Phillies bullpen was an issue last year, and it's not been a banner night for the bullpen tonight. A lot of velocity from Alvarado. You see where he gets all those strikeouts. .101 at the knees, and it's 2-2. Carson's 4 RBIs tonight, by the way, are a career high for him. He has struck out twice, singled and doubled, knocked in 4 runs.
We were talking about this before the ball game. You look at this Diamondbacks roster right now. They got a bunch of guys that can burn on the bases, and Carson Kelly's our leadoff hitter.
It's ironic, isn't it?
It really is.
He's run the count full, 3-2. If you're just joining us, you've missed a lot. Diamondbacks trailed at 7-0. They now lead it 12-7. 3-2 to Carson Kelly. And there is another base on balls issued by a Phillies relief pitcher. Carson's aboard for the 3rd time tonight.
Designated hitter, Josh.
Well, got to get Josh Rojas in the hit column. Josh 0 for 4. He's the DH. Eighth base on balls drawn by a D-backs hitter tonight. No outs in the 7th. Rojas shows bunt, pulls back, takes ball 1, and 100 miles an hour. I don't think I'd care to attempt bunting a 100-mile-an-hour sinker, frankly. Bad things could only happen. Squares up again. That one's in there for a strike as Bohm comes in from 3rd. He's got to stick close to that bag with runners at 1st and 2nd.
And how close he stays to third is really dependent on Alvarado and what kind of defender he is. He's a left-handed thrower, so if he can bounce off that mound and cover the left side of the field, Bohm will stay much closer to third base.
Got it down. Alvarado's on it. Rojas advances the runners.
All right, good job. Now make it pay off.
Well, that's up to Ketel Marte, who's had a good night here. Has started second base for Ketel. First time we've seen him defensively since August 13. He has singled, doubled, scored twice, and drawn a bases loaded walk. Geraldo Perdomo is at third base. Carson Kelly's at second. Infield comes in for the Phillies. Really like to get Ketel's bat going. He is hitting under 200 since the All-Star break. He's had a good night up there tonight. It's been busy down there. Left-hander Brad Hand. Way up in the air along the right left field line. Bohm, look out. Here comes Stott, who runs almost up his back. Everybody has to stay put, and that's the second out. That one got up there among the beams and the ceiling. So 2 outs for Christian Walker, who has been aboard all 4 times he's been up there. He has walked 3 times. Once with the bases loaded. He has singled. He has scored twice. Runners at second and third, 2 outs.
This might be one of those at bats. If Alvarado falls behind early, they just go ahead and put Christian Walker on base and take their chances with the Manuel Rivera in the on deck circle. Kind of surprised they're not just walking him anyway.
Christian's bases loaded walk his last time up was RBI number 73. That matches his career high set back in 2019. Two 2-0. Perdomo at third, Carson Kelly at second. Christian has gone back to the clean shaven look. That's what started a big home run stretch for him earlier this year.
Yeah, it did. Yes, it did. Yeah, for Christian, it was shaving off the beard. For Carson Kelly, it was changing his walk-up music. Something different for everybody.
Pick up the pieces.
Into it.
2-2. Yesterday in Chicago, we watched a game in which the White Sox, Dylan Cease at one point retired 17 consecutive batters. It's been a very different story here tonight.
19 runs combined, 20 hits combined. Each team has made an error in the game.
Two. And Merzel says no. And it's full 3-2 on Christian Walker. Reyes Moranza's been ready down in the Diamondback bullpen for a while now. Looks like he'll get the 8th inning. Three-two. Alvarado strands 2. We head to the 8th inning in a 12-7 ball game. Field, what a night here. First of 3 against the Phillies. Diamondbacks trailed at 1.7-0. They now lead 12-7 after batting around in both the 4th and the 5th innings. Don't miss your chance for an exclusive painting experience at Chase Field. You can purchase a Paint at the Park ticket. Coming up August 31st. That's Wednesday. Get a seat in the Banner Health Centered Field patio, food, and you get to take home your work of art. dbacks.com/paint for tickets. Will you be painting on Wednesday?
I haven't made up my mind yet. You know, once you're an accomplished artist.
Well, we do have an original Brenly hanging here in the booth. There you go. Wow. Beardy, as they're calling him now in Philadelphia. This is one of the new Phillies. Brandon Marsh, just acquired from the Angels, who leads off the 8th against Caleb Smith. Marsh acquired at the trade deadline for a minor leaguer. I'll tell you what, if you need a guy at the next Gettysburg reenactment, I got a guy for you. Caleb Smith, this is a battle of the beards right here.
Battle of the beards.
Uh-oh, there's the winner right there. Brandon Marsh, a 2nd-round pick by the Angels out of high school in Beaufort, Georgia. He has appeared in only 13 games for the Phillies since his trade from LA. Punches this one toward the left field corner. Stone Garrett on the move. Started thinking about that wall, and there's no play.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Stone obviously still working his way around the big leagues here. Not quite sure how close he was getting to that barrier wall out there in left field, and this came up about an inch short.
Yeah, Stone has played nearly all of his games on the road since he got called up. So Marsh still alive on a ball and 2 strikes. First time we've seen Caleb Smith since the end of July, when he came out of a game in Atlanta and got frustrated, angry, and punched something with his non-pitching hand and fractured the hand. Wound up on the injured list. Back for the first time tonight. On the ground to second for Ketel Marte. Little bouncer there. And there's 1 out in the 8th inning as we get this message from 72 Sold.
Hey, baseball fans, 72 Sold has a new, better way to sell your home. It's fast, it's easy, and you can get thousands more. Check it out today at 72sold.com.
Here is Kyle Schwarber, who has knocked in 4 runs tonight. He has singled and homered.
His 36th home run this year. That leads the National League.
Singled and homered. Probably the hardest hit ball was a line drive right to Christian Walker at first base.
Bidding for one more right here. It's headed toward the Phillies bullpen. And foul.
Schwarber never left the batter's box. I always watch the hitter. He knew right away he was a little bit too far out in front of that ball. Was going to hook down that right field line.
Schwarber, an all-star this year, his first season with the Phillies. Got a 4 years, $79 million free agent deal in March. Was a big presence for the Red Sox in the postseason last year after his trade from the Nationals. Good change up there, and it's 0-2.
That's a real good pitch. Most left-handers don't throw that change up to left-handed hitters because it usually ends up down and in that hot spot for most left-handed hitters. But that was a real good one by Caleb Smith that time.
Caleb so far has walked 2, struck out 2. Caleb started walking home. Slider missed. Well, he tied him up in knots with another good change. 3 strikeouts for Caleb. 2 down in the 8th.
Yeah, I just mentioned most left-handed pitchers don't like to throw this pitch to a lefty, but you see that circle change grip. He turns it over a little bit. And Schwarber, who's a dead fastball hitter, sees something straight in the middle of the zone. He's going to take a hack at it. Way out in front that time.
Yeah, Schwarber, in addition to hitting all the home runs, also leads the National League in strikeouts. Rhys Hoskins now has singled twice. This is a way to realize how much the Diamondbacks have missed Caleb Smith, because we talked about this the other day. Some of the middle relief corps, those guys are getting a little gassed at this point. It's nearly September, and you forget how many times Caleb Smith came into a ball game and went 2 innings, 2 1/3, worked, you know, the tail end of the 5th inning, got you into the 7th or 8th. He did that an awful lot, was very good doing that, so that's something that they could use right now. First base side for Walker. Marte in pursuit as well. Cattell calls him off. And he's got it. It's a 1-2, 3/8 for Caleb Smith, who gets 6 outs tonight. It's 12-7 Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks trailed at 7-0. They got 6 in the 4th, 6 more in the 5th to take a 12-7 lead. The Diamondbacks have never in their history won a game they trailed by at least 7 runs, so they can make some history here tonight as we're set for the home half of the 8th inning. Don't forget, the MLB Ballpark app will complete your next visit to Chase Field. You can buy and manage game tickets, unlock offers, access exclusive content, and much more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today. Veteran left-hander Brad Hand is on for the Phillies. His 48th appearance of the year. He'll face Emmanuel Rivera. Stone Garrett and Jake McCarthy due up in the Diamondbacks 8th inning.
As you mentioned, the Phillies have out-hit the Diamondbacks 11-9 in this ball game. However, the Phillies are 3 for 10 with runners in scoring position, while the Diamondbacks are 5 for 13 tonight. Ooh, that one got Real Muto right on the right shoulder. There's a little pad extended out there to protect that right shoulder, but it doesn't really do a lot of good.
Well, this would be, just to make it even more painful, the second time this year the Phillies have lost a game that they led 7-0 after 4 innings. They led 7-0 against the Mets back in May 5th. The Mets chipped away 1 in the 6th, then got 7 in the 9th and won it 8-7. So they lost a big game against the Mets. They led 7-0. 8-7 was the final. New York won. And this one's got to feel just like that. Up 7-0 after the top of the 4th inning. Now trailing 12-7, bottom 8. Rivera hits one high in the air, deep to right field for Veerling, who's got room. Well, he's really got some opposite field pop. Well, earlier we asked you on Twitter your favorite prospect in Diamondback history. The entire 03 team, the Babybacks.
The Babybacks. They even had their own calendar.
Nice work there. Ryan says, well, the guy batting 8th tonight is pretty special. We cannot argue. Corbin Carroll. Alec Thomas, that's a good answer too. Stephen Drew had quite a run. Here's Stone Garrett. Lots of good answers. Thanks to everybody who participated. Stone Garrett had an RBI single in that 6-run 4th inning. Stone 1 for 4 tonight. A start in left field. Well, there was a time where the Diamondbacks just had, with the exception of Christian Walker, very little to offer from the right side of the plate, but that has quickly changed now. You've got Stone Garrett, you've got Emmanuel Rivera. You got some thump from the right side now. Stone Garrett jumped on it. Stay fair. That one is gone. Stone Garrett has homered in back-to-back games. His first 2 big league home runs, and it's 13-7 after they trailed it 7-0. Boy, when he hits it, it stays hit.
Yes, it does. 104 miles an hour off the bat. The only question there was fair or foul. Oh, man. Pulls his hands in close to his body, looks at it.
Well, we just mentioned that a pitch or 2 ago. They've got some right side thump right now. Ouch.
You hang around a batting cage in the afternoon when teams are taking batting practice, and sometimes you don't even need to look. You just listen, and you can tell who's hitting. Stone Garrett makes that noise off the bat.
When the Diamondbacks hit big, you win big. That's a Jumbo Jack. Free Jumbo Jack tomorrow with Jack in the Box with a purchase of a large drink. Stone Garrett. We talked about his path to the Diamondbacks yesterday. Brett West was the D-backs pro scout that banged the table. We have got to get this kid in the organization. We had him in Miami. Corey Hahn, the one that signed him, and now he's hitting home runs. As McCarthy looks at a slider. Let's take a listen to what Bob was talking about here with Stone Garrett. His second big league home run, his second consecutive game with a home run after he hit #1 yesterday in Chicago against Dylan Cease. That one off Brad Hand. Here is Corbin Carroll in his major league debut. And lost in all the crazy comeback stuff is the fact that it was Corbin Carroll's first major league hit that actually gave the Diamondbacks their first lead.
There you go.
That was his 2-run double. And it took it from 7-7 to 9-7. Back in the 5th inning, and this was it. Our Chaz Roberts air conditioning and plumbing. Cool play of the game. Major league hit #1 for Corbin Carroll, a 2-run double.
Got his weight out on the front foot, but kept his hands back nicely and drove that ball into the gap in left center to drive home what is right now the game winner.
Well, you might recall a game we mentioned earlier tonight, June 12th. Diamondbacks and Phillies at Citizens Bank Park. Diamondbacks in that game scored 13 runs, and they've
hung another 13 spot up on the board against the Phillies tonight. Segura's at second. Stone Garrett's second big league home run has made it 13-7. Stone Garrett all smiles in the dugout, and why not? A home run yesterday in Chicago against Dylan Cease, another one tonight against Brad Hand, and it's made it 13-7 Diamondbacks as we start the 9th inning. With the new pitcher for the D-backs, the big right-hander Reyes Maranta, his second appearance after he was acquired off of waivers from the Dodgers. We've seen plenty of Maranta over the years, a very hard thrower, put up some big strikeout numbers as part of the Giants bullpen several years ago before he had shoulder trouble. Dodgers let him go not long ago, got picked up by the Diamondbacks. Now here he is. Defensive changes behind him. Stone Garrett comes out. Jake McCarthy goes from center to left field, and the new center fielder is Alec Thomas. Alec Bohm, who has single, doubled, and scored twice, 2 for 4, leads off the Philadelphia 9th. The Phillies tonight had a 7-0 lead. Diamondbacks got 6 in the 4th and 6 more in the 5th. The last time the Phillies gave up at least 6 runs in consecutive innings was July of 1997 at San Francisco. It is the 14th time in Diamondbacks franchise history they have batted around in consecutive innings. And the first time in D-backs franchise history they have scored at least 6 runs in back-to-back innings. It's also the first time it's been done by any team in the majors this year. It's the second time this season the Phillies have let a 7-0 lead get away. They lost to the Mets 8-7 back in May. Well, Reyes Maranta is going to be a guy to watch. Big seasons with the Giants in 2018 and 2019. With some impressive strikeout numbers. Signed with the Dodgers as a free agent this spring. And made 22 appearances out of the LA bullpen this year. 27 strikeouts in just under 24 innings, but is put on waivers and playing by the Diamondbacks. 2-2. Maranta was having another big season with the Giants in 2019. Had to be shut down late in the year with shoulder trouble. Wound up needing shoulder surgery that September. Spent all of 2020 rehabbing during the pandemic season, then in most of last year pitching for the Giants AAA team at Sacramento. Ooh, 96. Have a look. 1 down. This guy was a really good reliever there for a while.
Yeah, he really was. We didn't like to see him come out of the bullpen for the Giants because usually he didn't give up anything.
It's not like he's ancient. He's 29 years old and probably healthy for the first time in 3 years. He gets a look at Bryce Harper now. Harper has doubled twice and walked. He's knocked in a run.
I'd love to know the significance of all that stuff that Bryce Harper does. Everybody does something. You know, we've seen Alec Thomas bend over and touch the dirt with both hands before he gets in the batter's box. Everybody has something that they do as part of their routine. But as I mentioned, this has really evolved for Bryce Harper. It used to be a very simple thing. He'd touch the ground, tap his toes, and then get in there. But I don't know where the shimmy shuffle came from. But there's a reason. In his mind, there's a reason.
Something about a hip turn?
Could be.
Good change up there from Maranta. And he's ahead. No balls and 2 strikes. There's the overshift on that first base side.
Harper does not offer at that slider and is back even in the count, 2-2. And Kenji Realmuto on deck. There's the old hip swivel. And it's rolled to first for Walker. 2 outs in the ninth. Don't forget, we are back tomorrow, game 2 of this 3-game set with the Phillies, and it's a really promising pitching matchup. D-Backs Live pregame show at 6 o'clock. Zach Gallen goes for the Diamondbacks against the Phillies' Aaron Nola. 6:40 first pitch.
Just a guess, but I don't think you'll see those kind of offensive numbers on the scoreboard tomorrow night.
Wouldn't think so.
We'll see.
Realmuto 0 for 2. So that's coming up tomorrow. The second of a 3-game set with the Phillies. Brewers come in for 4 starting on Thursday.
Aaron Judge hit number 50 tonight for the Yankees in a loss to the Angels. Shohei Ohtani hit number 29.
Judge turned down that money from the Yankees, and it was a lot. Said, I'm going to bet on myself. He's got 50 homers before the end of August. His next salary might start with a 5 instead of a 2. Well, Morata looking good. Struck out Bohm, got Harper to ground out. 1-2 on Realmuto before the celebration can really begin, and it's been a lot to celebrate tonight. It was a rough night for Madison Bumgarner, and his team has picked him up. 1-2. I like what you said about Frias. He was the one that calmed things down.
Yeah.
From a pitching perspective. In fact, let's see here.
Bullpen hasn't given up a hit or a run tonight.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. Phillies have not had a hit since they got 3 in the 4th. Which is pretty impressive considering the way they were going. They scored in each of the first 4 innings. But it was the Harper double that was the final batter that Madison faced. That was the last time they had a hit back in the 4th inning. 2-2 on JT Realmuto. Well, that's trying to get out of here. McCarthy on the track, and he's got it. And the Diamondbacks win a wild one. For the first time in their history, they win a game in which they trailed by at least 7 runs. Corbin Carroll put them ahead 9-7 with his first major league hit, a 2-run double. And the Diamondbacks have won 4 straight games in 5 of their last 6.
Yeah, Corbin Carroll has to learn the routine. Alec Thomas telling him, put your glove up on top of your head, and we're going to go
rock, paper, scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors.
The first time in franchise history they have overcome a 7-run deficit and won the ball game. And what a ball game it was. A lot to wrap up with D-Backs Live, the post-game show. That's coming up next on Bally Sports Arizona.